Chapter 10-15. In a courtyard in Tianjiang City, Lin Rei had been here for 2 days. In these 2 days, he had found a small house that was neither big nor small enough for him to live in alone. In these 2 days, Lin Rei had basically learned about Tianjiang City. Tianjiang City was the richest city in the Yan country. The city lord of the city was Lu Changtian, who only belonged to the Yan kingdom royalty. Furthermore, his cultivation had reached the late stage of marshal general. In the entire Yan country, he was one of the top figures. Of course, more importantly, this Lu Changtian was very young. It was rumored that he was only 25 or 26 years old. For someone of his age to be able to cultivate to the marshal general level, he was already considered a monstrous talent in the entire Tianming. Even Lin Rei was a little interested in Lu Changtian. Although marshal general was nothing in his eyes, in the age of chaos where spirit qi was so scarce, to be able to cultivate to the marshal general level at such a young age, this person was either extremely talented or had a special constitution. There was also another possibility, which was that this Lu Changtian had something that could increase his cultivation or gather spirit qi. No matter what, Lin Rei really wanted to meet this Lu Changtian. Sitting in the courtyard, lying on a bench, drinking tea and looking at the blue sky and white clouds, life was carefree and free. Dong dong dong, however, under such a peaceful scene, a rough and slightly anxious voice came from the door. "Who is it? Don't you know that I hate being disturbed the most?" Feeling that he had been interrupted, a sense of unhappiness welled up in his heart. At this moment, Lin Rei had the intention to kill. He got up and walked to the door. He reached out and opened the door. A chubby young man lowered his head with an anxious expression on his face. Jia, when the door opened, the person at the door heard the sound of the door opening and looked up. When he saw Lin Rei's figure at the door, the young man was stunned. He smiled and said, "Master, I did what you asked me to do. For 2 days, I squatted in front of the city lord's mansion, not eating or drinking. Finally, after 2 days, Lu Changtian has arrived." Is that so? Although Lin Rei didn't believe it, since the other party said that he had waited for so long, Lin Rei had to go regardless of the final result. After all, he was curious about Lu Changtian's identity and how he could cultivate so quickly. "That's right. Lord Lu is eating at Wangwen restaurant. I heard that an elder from the Sword Sect brought a few disciples here to recruit new students, so Lord Lu went." Sword Sect. He had heard about this Sword Sect many times since he woke up. He really didn't know how powerful this Sword Sect was, and there was also the matter of the Huangfu family. Linli wouldn't be merciful towards the matters of the Huangfu clan, especially since he knew that sooner or later, he would have to leave. Thus, before he left, he wanted to help the clan deal with anyone, anything that could threaten the clan, leaving nothing behind. If the Lin family was the enemy of the entire Tianming, Lin Rei wouldn't mind killing all the people who were enemies of the Lin family. Although it seemed cruel, Lin Rei felt that it was worth it. The person who had come to inform Linli was called Long Bao, and he was a native of Sky River City. The reason he obeyed Linli was because Linli had given him the life he wanted, and because Linli had saved his mother and sister who had died. Since then, the young man had followed Linli. Lin Rei felt helpless about the young man. He tried to coax him to leave several times, but in the end it was useless. The informant was a native of Tianjiang City, so he could easily find him by using his connections. Lin Rei gave up on this. Regaining his senses, he raised his head and looked at Long Bao. He took out a silver coin and handed it to him, saying, "I'll leave this matter to you. If you want to see it, it will be noon. You should hurry back. Your mother has just recovered from her illness and needs someone to take care of her." "No, no, no. Master, you already cured my mother's illness. I definitely won't accept this money. I'm very happy to do something for you. Moreover, my mother is willing to let me work for you." As he spoke, he hurriedly pushed Linli's hand away from the silver coin. These were his heartfelt words. In his heart, his mother was always number one. His mother's words were like an imperial edict, especially since Lin Rei saved his mother. This made Longbao rely on Lin Rei even more. However, there was another idea that Longbao had been thinking about for the past 2 days. It was none other than the medical skills that Lin Rei displayed 2 days ago. Although he was a commoner, especially a poor one who didn't study, he knew that skills needed to be learned. If you want to win the respect of others, you must first respect yourself. At the same time, you also need to have skills. Therefore, after seeing Lin Rei's magical medical skills, Longbao fell in love with him. He swore that he must learn Lin Rei's medical skills. Lin Rei will leave sooner or later. This time, his mother didn't have a big problem. But what about next time? Would a kind-hearted person like Lin Li, with such powerful medical skills, lend a helping hand the next time? Regarding this point, no one can say. Longbao didn't dare to gamble. He didn't want to gamble. He always believed that his fate was in his own hands and not in the hands of the heavens. Lin Rei's expression froze when he saw Longbao's reaction. I didn't give you the money to let you eat. It's to let you buy some supplements for your mother. Your mother has just woken up. Her body is sick and she has been malnourished for many years. Although she has been cured this time, she still needs to replenish the nutrients that she lost in the past few years. This time, Lin Rei didn't care whether Longbao accepted it or not. He directly stuffed the silver coins into Longbao's clothes. Without saying anything, he turned around and walked into the house. Looking at Lin Rei's back as he left, Longbao wanted to say something. But at this time, he realized that he had already said too many words of thanks. This won't do. It seems that I have to work harder for the master in the future. Otherwise, as if he had decided on something, he clenched his fists. The determination on his face was shocking. Dong. After thinking it through, Longbao closed the door and left to buy supplements and food for his mother. Heh, do you think I don't know what you're thinking? In his mind, he felt that Longbao had already left. A hint of interest appeared at the corner of his mouth. If you want to learn skills, you have to go through me. Otherwise, if you accept a white-haired wolf as your disciple, you'll be at a disadvantage in the end. After saying that, his original smile disappeared and he looked forward. Thinking about what Longben said just now, the interest on Lin Rei's face became even stronger. Lu Chongtian. Sword Sect. I hope you don't disappoint me. If not, it won't be fun anymore. Taking a step forward, Lin Rei instantly used the butterfly step. In the next moment, his entire body was like the hope of a butterfly. He left the house in the air and quickly rushed towards Wangwen Restaurant after finding the right direction. In the autumn moon room on the second floor of Wangwen Restaurant, 3 young men, a young woman, and an old man were sitting together. Of course, only 1 young man and 1 old man were actually sitting. As for the remaining 2 men and 1 woman, they were standing obediently and looking behind them, not daring to have the slightest bit of rash behavior. If Longbao was here and saw the young man with a jade-like face, sword-like eyebrows and starry eyes, he would definitely excitedly jump up and say that this was Lord Lu or something like that. Elder Wang Yun, how many people do you plan to recruit into the Sword Sect this time? Looking at Lu Chongtian, Wang Yun stared blankly for a moment, then immediately smiled. That's hard to say. After all, it depends on fate. Of course, more importantly, it depends on whether or not that person has the talent for martial cultivation. Lu Chongtian. This sentence was too broad and the scope was too wide. After all, the entire Tianjiang city had a population of several million. Although the requirements for recruiting disciples were below the age of 15 or 16, there were still many children of that age in the entire Tianjiang city. Ha ha. Okay, I won't tease you anymore. To be honest, this time, my sword sect is going to open its doors to recruit disciples. Moreover, the demand for disciples is very large. It can be said that this is the first time we have recruited so many disciples apart from the opening of the sect. However, don't be happy too early. Although there are many people in Tianjiang City who meet the requirements, the basic number of people we are recruiting this time is people with 5th grade aptitude. What? Hearing Wang Yun's words, Lu Changtian immediately stood up from his chair and looked at Wang Yun with a shocked and astonished expression. 5th grade aptitude? This? Yes, 5th grade aptitude. Wang Yun was especially serious about this. The Destiny Realm had always been divided into 10 levels. Levels 1 to 3 were human grade aptitude, levels 4 to 6 were earth grade aptitude, levels 7 to 9 were heaven grade aptitude, and levels 10 were divine grade aptitude. However, people with divine grade aptitude had not appeared in the Destiny Realm for tens of thousands of years. Therefore, basically, there were only heaven-grade aptitudes in the Destiny Realm because divine-grade aptitude had never appeared. Of course, this was only limited to the fact that it had not appeared in the past tens of thousands of years. Looking at Lu Changtian, Wang Yun sighed and said, "Now you know what I meant when I said that it might not necessarily be the case. Earth-grade aptitude? Not to mention Tianjiang City, even the entire Yen country would find it difficult to recruit a group of people, so, understood, I understand this." Before Wang Yun could finish, Lu Changtian interrupted him with a disappointed expression. In his opinion, as long as Tianjiang City recruited more people, he would be proud. After all, this was a city under his jurisdiction. If the city was in trouble, they would come back to help. But now this idea was ruined. It would be a miracle if 5 people with Earth-grade aptitude appeared in Tianjiang City. Sigh, forget it, let's leave it to fate. After saying that casually, he picked up the cup on the table and drank it in one gulp. Wang Yun, who was sitting opposite him, was also very helpless. When he first heard this news, he felt the same as Lu Changtian. However, there was nothing he could do. The sect leader had personally issued an order. If he did not follow the order, he would be the one to be punished in the end. At this moment, the scene was quiet. No one spoke. They just kept looking at each other, especially the 3 people standing behind Wang Yun. They were so embarrassed that they wanted to explode. 5th grade aptitude, earth grade aptitude, it's getting more and more interesting. Such a small sect actually wants to recruit earth-grade aptitude disciples. It seems that they have big plans. At this moment, on the roof, Lin Rei sat on the eaves and listened to the conversation between Lu Changtian and Wang Yun. He was shocked and fell into deep thought. To be honest, Lin Rei did not have much of an impact on this sword sect. The only person he had heard about this sword sect was from the old man on Huangfu. Combining this information, the only thing he could realize was that this sword sect was very big in their eyes. It was so big that people like them had no choice but to curry favor with it. "Who is it?" Suddenly, a loud shout exploded in Lin Rei's ears. "F***CK, I forgot to restrain my aura." He lowered his head and looked down, speechless. "Mountain-splitting palm, come down." In the room, Lu Changtian sensed an aura flashing on the roof. Without any hesitation, he used the mountain-splitting palm and jumped up to slap the place where Lin Rei's aura was. "Humph, good timing." Sensing the fierce aura coming from below, Lin Li's expression changed. Excitement appeared on his face as he raised his astral finger and jabbed downwards. This time, Lin Rei used his pure cultivation. However, even so, just a high-level battle technique like the star finger was not something this low-level plane could compare with. Bang! A roar resounded through the entire Wangwon restaurant. A huge movement appeared on the roof of the room Lu Changtian was in. The fragments of the roof fell into the room. Whoosh! In the air, 2 figures collided and separated in an instant. It looked like neither of them could do anything to the other. However, only the parties involved knew the truth. How can this be? This person's cultivation. Returning to the room, Lu Changtian looked up at Lin Rei in shock. He felt waves of pain coming from his palm and his entire arm. Not bad, the mountain-splitting palm. It would be better if it was perfected. Feeling Lu Changtian's mountain-splitting palm, Lin Rei said. However, he could not hide the pity in his expression. Unfortunately, this kind of martial technique is just a small trick. It can't be used in the Grand Hall. Bastard. Lin Rei did not hide his words. They were all heard by Lu Changtian and Wang Yun. Lu Changtian heard someone insulting his martial technique. As a proud person, how could he tolerate it? Hey, you're still not convinced. Lin Rei felt Lu Changtian's intention. However, Lin Rei still did not avoid it. He got up and jumped into the room. He glanced at everyone and paused on Wang Yun. He did not even look at the others. This person. At the side, the only woman saw that Lin Rei's gaze did not stop on her at all. A sense of defeat suddenly surged in her heart. At this moment, the woman began to wonder if she was not charming enough and did not look beautiful from time to time. May I ask who you are? At the side, Wang Yun looked at Lin Rei and did not make a move. From the battle just now, he could tell that the young man in front of him had a high cultivation. He was so young that he could only be a friend and not an enemy. You are the Sword Sect's elder Wang Yu. Looking at Wang Yu, Lin Rei opened his mouth and revealed the other party's identity. Yes. Not bad. Peak martial general cultivation. You're only one step away from the next realm. You can also enter the next realm quickly. Chapter 10:16. At this moment, the way Wang Yun looked at Lin Rei was even more different. Others might not know, but he was very clear about his cultivation level. Just as Lin Rei had said just now, the peak of the martial general realm was only one step away from the next realm. However, this last step was not something that could be taken casually. Some martial cultivators were trapped for 20 years, 30 years, or even their entire lives because of this last step. Therefore, the price of this last step was too great. If they did not deal with it properly, their lives would be over. He chuckled and ignored everyone. He went to a WeChat merchant's place and sat down. He glanced at Lu Changtian and said, I made an unintentional mistake just now. I hope Lord Lu won't take offense. As he spoke, he cupped his hands, but he did not look apologetic at all. Lu Changtian snorted coldly and did not accept this form of apology. However, Wang Yun, who was at the side, was different. Seeing that Lin Rei was so humble, he immediately said, No, fellow Taoist, you must be joking. May I know which sect fellow Taoist is from? Why have I heard of your name in books before? Me? I'm Lin Rei. As for the sect. He looked at Wang Yun. He was not lying, as there was no need for him to say that. Lin Rei. But what surprised Linley was that he didn't know who he was. Who would have thought that as soon as he said his name, a cry of surprise could be heard in the room. This exclamation really gave Lin Rei a fright. Lin Rei looked in the direction of the voice and saw a girl's figure appear in front of Lin Rei. You are. He did not know this girl. No matter how hard he tried, he could not remember this person. Looking at Lin Rei, Wang Yun was stunned. Then, he quickly introduced her. Fellow Taoist Lin, I'm really sorry. This is my beloved disciple, Long Huaner. Long Huaner. Hearing this name, Lin Rei was even more certain that he had never seen it before. If he had seen it before, there was no way that Lin Rei would not have recognized it. Hurry up and apologize to fellow Taoist Lin. Sensing the change in Lin Rei's mood, Wang Yun turned her head and scolded Long Huaner. I apologize. Looking at her master, Wang Yun, Long Huaner was frightened. In the past, Wang Yun had never spoken loudly to her, not even scolded her, but now, junior sister, hurry up and apologize to Senior Lin. Although he may be a little young, his cultivation base is strong. That alone is enough. That's right, junior sister. Hurry up and apologize to Senior Lin. This matter is indeed your fault. At this moment, the two senior brothers beside her both spoke up to persuade her. Long Huaner knew the two of them very well. They were usually arrogant, self-righteous, and did not put others in their eyes at all. But now she understood that she might have really done something wrong. Thinking of this, she raised her head to look at Lin Rei's young face and said, I'm sorry. I was rash and offended Senior Lin. I hope Senior won't take issue with me. Although she said that, she still had many doubts about Lin Rei. For example, she had heard the name Lin Rei from her father. Moreover, she also knew a little about Lin Rei's deeds. Now that he had woken up after being in a coma for 8 years, she could not associate Lin Rei, who had been in a coma for 8 years, with this powerful cultivator in front of her. The two of them were two completely different people. It was as if one was a rich family's young master and the other was a roadside beggar. There was no relationship between the two of them at all. However, Lin Rei did not know what Long Huaner was thinking and did not want to know. Seeing her apologize, Lin Rei nodded. All right, the ignorant are fearless. Just be careful next time. After saying that, Lin Rei ignored Long Huaner and did not even look at her. It was as if she did not exist. Seeing Lu Changtian's covetous look, Lin Rei chuckled and stood up. You don't have to be so wary of me. I'm really just passing by. Oh, right, as if thinking of something, he said, Huangfu's Huangfu Jing is a seed that your sword sect has taken a fancy to? And? Huangfu Jing. As an elder of the sword sect, hearing this, Wang Yun was startled and fell into deep thought. After a while, she regained her senses and nodded. I think so. She seems to be a seed that junior brother Huang Zhong has taken a fancy to. I'm not particularly sure about this. And it seems like it's true. Hearing that Huangfu Jing is really a seed that the people of the sword sect have taken a fancy to, killing intent suddenly surged in his heart like a tidal wave. The gentleness on his face was no longer there. What, you are acquainted with Huangfu Jing? As a general-level expert, he naturally could sense the killing intent emanating from Linley. I know her. Suddenly, the tone of his voice changed. A terrifying baleful aura rushed out of his body and filled the entire room and even the entire restaurant. Go back and tell that Huang Zhong of yours. If he doesn't want to die, then obediently stay in the sword sect. Don't come out and meddle in other people's business. Otherwise, don't blame me for being merciless. Oh, that's right. I don't like to leave trouble for myself. So, if Huang Zhong doesn't listen and insists on coming out, then not only will Huang Zhong die, your entire sword sect, including you and your disciples, will all die. What was this? Was this a naked threat? As a peak martial general expert who was only one step away from the next realm, his dignity was not something that could be trampled on. However, when Wang Yun was about to attack, the surrounding baleful aura instantly condensed and enveloped Wang Yun. At this moment, Wang Yun could feel as if the god of death had grabbed his throat. If he dared to move, then his throat and even his life would be instantly obliterated. You must not move recklessly. Otherwise, I'm afraid that I won't be able to restrain myself from killing you right now. Furthermore, as he spoke, he looked at his disciples behind him. With a flash, he used the butterfly steps and disappeared from where he stood. In the next instant, when the crowd saw Lin Rei again, he was already beside Long Huaner and the others. Lin Rei took out a blade from somewhere and placed it against Long Huaner's throat. Even if you don't care about your own life, you must still think about your precious disciples. Don't act recklessly. Regarding Lin Rei's sudden disappearance, Wang Yun finally understood that if the person before him wanted him to die, it would only take an instant. Suddenly, a feeling of powerlessness surged through his entire body. This was the first time he felt so powerless and helpless since he started cultivating. Senior. At the side, Lu Chongtian, who had been watching from the sidelines, saw that Lin Rei was so powerful. He hurriedly took a step forward and pleaded, "Elder Wang Yun is different from Huang Zhong and the others. I believe that he will definitely deal with this matter when he returns. Furthermore, you shouldn't implicate your family. If word of you threatening Elder Wang Yun's disciples like this gets out, it will damage your reputation. As for the matter between Huang Zhong and Huang Fujing, that's their matter. This has nothing to do with the Sword Sect. Aren't you being a little, scram?" Boom! With a loud shout, Lu Chongtian, who was standing on the spot, was sent flying. In midair, scarlet blood spurted out from Lu Chongtian's mouth. Plop! 100 meters away, Lu Chongtian was directly thrown 100 meters out onto the street, his entire body lying on the ground like a dead dog, surrounded by the crowd. Isn't this Lu Chongtian, Lord Lu? At this moment, some onlookers recognized Lu Chongtian's true identity. That's right, City Lord Lu. Who injured City Lord Lu to this extent? Isn't Lord Lu a general-level expert? Why is he like this? Waves of discussions rang out from the crowd. However, no one stepped forward to help him up. Lu Chongtian's heart trembled at the actions of the people around him, and a hint of ridicule flashed in his heart. In the Wangwen restaurant, Lin Rei looked at Lu Chongtian's current appearance and sneered. He raised his hand and a suction force appeared. Suddenly, Lu Chongtian, who was lying on the ground, suddenly rose into the air and landed in the room. This scene and Lin Rei's actions shocked Wang Yun and Lu Chongtian, who was lying on the ground. What kind of technique is this? Telekinesis? What kind of cultivation realm can do this? Martial saint? Or martial saint? Or martial god, who hasn't appeared in a long time? Lin Rei took the opportunity to look at everyone's shock. He stared at Wang Yu and said, "Remember my words. I'll pass a message to your Sword Sect. Lianqing Lin family. If anything happens to the Lianqing Lin family, then your Sword Sect will be destroyed. Believe me, I have the strength to destroy your Sword Sect in an instant." As he spoke, he let go of Long Huaner and retracted his murderous aura. Then, he walked in front of Lu Chongtian and placed his hand on Lu Chongtian's back. He closed his eyes and sensed. In the pitch-black space, Lin Rei walked slowly. Suddenly, a terrifying heat wave came from afar. Fire spiritual root? Sensing this wave of heat, Linley, somewhat puzzled, continued to advance. Time passed bit by bit, and in the end, a vast sea of flames appeared in front of Linley. In the center of the sea of flames, there was a piece of wood covered with the tattoo of a dragon. Fire dragon wood, supreme grade spiritual root? Feeling the spiritual energy of the fire dragon wood, Lin Rei became excited. The fire dragon wood was a supreme grade spiritual root. Furthermore, it was an extremely rare spiritual root. No, it's not the fire dragon wood spiritual root. Just as Lin Rei determined Lu Chongtian's fire dragon wood spiritual root, the sea of fire suddenly churned. It was as if something was about to break through the seal. This is the fire dragon vein? At this moment Lin Rei was shocked. In order to confirm if his guess was correct, he immediately jumped into the sea of fire. Roar! In the sea of fire, a fire dragon was formed by flames. The moment Lin Rei jumped into the sea of fire, the fire dragon was awakened. It instantly rushed in front of Lin Rei, wanting to tear him apart. Fire spirit, as expected. Seeing that the fire dragon was about to devour him, the last bit of the sage's aura was activated. Suppress for me. Boom! With a muffled sound, the sage appeared. Everything submitted. The originally ferocious fire dragon obediently returned to its original position the moment it felt the sage's aura. It no longer had any malicious actions. Ah! Looking at the surrounding scene, Lin Rei laughed. At this moment, Lin Rei was very happy. The fire dragon vein was an extremely powerful bloodline. It was even comparable to the Tendo physique. Although it was not as abnormal as the Tendo physique, it was still far superior to other bloodlines. Retracting his spirit chi, Lin Rei separated his palm from Lu Changtian's back. A smile flashed across his face. Previously, Lin Rei felt that Lu Changtian's cultivation speed was a little abnormal. Now that he confirmed it, he finally understood. If a person who had the fire dragon vein cultivated like an ordinary cultivator, then this person would really be crippled. There was no saving him. On the ground, Lin Rei's sudden action made his heart skip a beat. A bad premonition surged in his heart. You take me as your master, and I will let you have power that you can't imagine. How about it? This sudden sentence stunned Lu Changtian. He had never thought about taking someone as his master. But now it was actually proposed by someone with such a powerful cultivation. You didn't reject my offer because I have already made up my mind. Whether you agree or not, from today onwards you, Lu Changtian, are my Lin Rei's disciple. Lu Changtian. Everyone was speechless at Lin Rei's domineering attitude. They had only heard of people begging others to take in disciples. They had never heard of people forcibly taking in a disciple. Moreover, the disciple was so unwilling. What was worse was that he was injured by his future master. I don't, Pa. A crisp sound echoed through the entire space. A red palm print appeared on Lu Changtian's face. Bastard, I took you in as my disciple. You should be grateful and know how to repay me. You, on the other hand, don't know how to be grateful. You still want to reject me, you unfilial disciple. Looking at Lin Rei, Lu Changtian wanted to cry but had no tears. What the F***ck is going on? Earlier, you looked like you wanted to kill me, but now you want to take me in as your disciple. Damn it, can't you play properly? This matter is settled. As for you, you don't have to be the city lord anymore. Leave this place with me later. After saying that, Lin Rei began to reprimand Lu Changtian as if he was a master. Look at you, your cultivation is so lousy. Go into seclusion for 100 years. Of course, I will bring you to some good places. I guarantee that you will break through in a short period of time. An evil smile appeared on Lin Rei's face. When everyone saw that, they couldn't help but tremble. An indescribable chill surged into their hearts. They couldn't help but take a step back. It was as if they wanted to run away from this place, from every place that Lin Rei was at. Can I say no? Another crisp sound rang out. On the other side of Lu Changtian's unscathed face, there was an identical palm print. His entire face was no longer as handsome as before. At this moment, Lu Changtian's face was like a pig's head. Bastard, you actually dare to refute my words? You must be tired of living. Lin Rei understood Lu Changtian's thoughts. Lin Rei was determined to obtain the fire dragon vein. Chapter 1017. Sob asterisk, he cried. At this moment, Lu Changtian didn't care about his image at all. He cried so sadly that Lin Rei was completely speechless. This brat, he understood Lu Changtian's thoughts. There was no other way. In order to obtain the fire dragon vein, Lin Rei was going all out. Brat, wait until you become my disciple. See if I don't torture you properly. At this moment, Lin Rei decided to use a little of his divine sense to let Lu Changtian see what a true expert was. The Tao that he insisted on was only a corner of the Tao. Oh no, it wasn't even a corner of the Tao. At most, it could be considered as the entry level of the Tao. Universe evolution complete. Without anyone noticing, a strand of spiritual sense rushed into Lu Changtian's mind. Boom! A rumbling sound exploded in Lu Changtian's mind. Lu Changtian stopped crying and fell into a sluggish state. Others might not know what was going on, but Lin Rei was very clear about it. It was because he was the one who did it. In a pitch-black space, Lu Changtian's figure suddenly appeared. He stopped crying and looked at the scene in front of him in a daze. Damn, what's going on? With doubts and puzzlement, he stood up and wiped the tears on his face. He began to explore. Lu Changtian was curious and worried about his sudden appearance in this mysterious space. Where is this place? Why did I suddenly appear here but I didn't feel it? This question had become Lu Changtian's secret. Lu Changtian was thinking about everything. Lu Changtian. Just when Lu Changtian was puzzled, a familiar voice that gave him a headache appeared. This voice was none other than Lin Rei. Lin Rei? Lu Changtian was stunned by the sudden appearance of Linley's voice. He was an intelligent man. Soon, he thought of a possibility. Did you bring me here? At least you're not that stupid. That's right. The Emperor brought you here for no other reason than to let you know that in your world, the so-called martial god is so powerful. But in my world, the martial god is at most the beginning of cultivation. In my eyes, martial god is as weak and insignificant as an ant. Lu Changtian. Looking around for Lin Rei, Lu Changtian rolled his eyes when he heard Lin Rei's words. He didn't believe Lin Rei's words at all. I hope you'll still have that kind of expression later. Instead of arguing with Lu Changtian, he raised his hand and waved his spiritual power. Suddenly, a light screen appeared in the originally dark space. On the light screen, a shocking scene of slaughter appeared in front of Lu Changtian. The scene on the light screen was none other than the scene where Lin Rei massacred the Qiankuan sect. The bloody scene made Lu Changtian's butthole tighten. He was dumbfounded as he stared at the screen. His expression was filled with shock. Looking at Lu Changtian's current expression, Lin Rei laughed in his heart. Hee, let's see if you still won't obediently acknowledge me as your master. Lin Rei was still confident in this. After all, his cultivation, strength, and most importantly, vision far exceeded the destiny realm. Kill all of you. Die for this sovereign. At this moment, Lin Rei's voice came from the light screen. This voice woke up Lu Changtian from his shock. How is this possible? What kind of cultivation realm can do this? Why? Looking at Lu Changtian, Lin Rei said, Do you think this is unbelievable? Isn't it because you think this scene is fake? It's impossible. You? Who are you? Why did you? He asked Lin Rei with a shocked tone. Bastard, I'm your master. Lin Rei was furious, but he soon replied with a gentle tone, I can tell you that everything you saw was real. And that scene was the scene where the Emperor massacred a sect. What you? After getting Lin Rei's confirmation, Lu Changtian was so shocked that he couldn't add more. This scene had been deeply engraved in his heart. He would never forget it for the rest of his life. The scene just now wasn't the Emperor trying to show off. The Emperor just wanted to tell you that this world is very, very big. What you know is just a drop of water on the iceberg. There is still 99% that you don't know. If it wasn't for your talent, I wouldn't accept you as my disciple even if you begged me. Hearing this, Lu Changtian's face turned red. Thinking about how he rejected Lin Rei, Lu Changtian really wanted to slap himself. Disperse. Seeing Lu Changtian's regretful expression, Lin Rei knew that the result he wanted had appeared. He casually dispersed the illusion. The two returned to reality. Lin Rei lowered his head and looked at Lu Changtian with a regretful expression. Sigh, I originally wanted to accept you as my disciple, but now it seems that you don't care at all. Since that's the case, forget it. It's quite relaxing to be alone. What happened in the illusion just now, other than Lin Rei and Lu Changtian, no one else knew. In the eyes of outsiders, the two were just in a daze. Turning around, he pretended to leave. However, at this moment, Lu Changtian, who was lying on the ground, didn't want to leave. Ignoring the pain in his body, he directly got up from the ground and jogged to Lin Rei. Plop, without any warning, he knelt in front of Lin Rei and kowtowed to the ground. As he kowtowed, he begged, Master, Master, please accept me. Don't worry, this disciple will definitely work hard in the future. I will definitely not embarrass you elders. Didn't you say that I don't have talent? Don't you think it's a pity to give up just like that? Wang Yun. Such a dramatic scene fell into the eyes of Wang Yun and the others. They were stunned on the spot and couldn't understand what was going on. Damn, what's going on? Why is it like this? It shouldn't be like this. Didn't you say that you don't want to be my disciple? Looking at Lu Changtian, Wang Yun had doubts in her mind. You want me to accept you as my disciple? Seeing Lu Changtian like this, Lin Rei became serious. Lin Rei wouldn't give up on such a critical moment. Of course. Thinking back to how Lu Changtian had rejected him at the beginning, Linley's heart was filled with unhappiness. Now, Linley's every action was driven by his unhappiness. Yes. Lu Changtian nodded solemnly. You don't dislike me and won't reject me anymore? Yes, I was wrong. Ha ha. Lin Rei laughed. Seeing that Lu Changtian was so teachable, Lin Rei finally nodded in agreement. Okay, since that's the case, from today onwards, you are Emperor's disciple. In the future, you will no longer be a city lord. Do you understand? Yes, your disciple understands. Lu Changtian didn't dare to disobey his master in the slightest, especially after seeing how Lin Rei annihilated an entire sect. He knew even more clearly how narrow-minded he was in the past. Yes. Lu Changtian's obedience made Lin Rei smile. Then, his expression turned serious. Okay, since you recognize me as your master, then the first mission I'll give you is to go to the Sword Sect alone in a year. Sword Sect. He was confused by Lin Rei's words that came out of nowhere. Yes, Sword Sect. At this moment, Wang Yun heard the words Sword Sect, and shook his head to get rid of his wild thoughts. In Wang Yun's heart, the Sword Sect wasn't a sect. It was his home and his safe haven. He didn't want anything to happen to the Sword Sect. As for Wang Yun and his disciple, Lin Rei didn't avoid them at all. He directly said, I'll help you improve your cultivation within a year. After you're better, go to the Sword Sect and give it to me. I'll destroy the Sword Sect. This is the first mission I'll give you. Of course, you can refuse. However, the price for refusing is to go into seclusion for 100 years and not come out. Don't try your luck. Of course, 100 years is just a blink of an eye for cultivators like us. As for how to choose, you can decide for yourself. Lin Rei didn't say anything else after he threw the words at Lu Changtian. Lin Rei didn't particularly hate the Sword Sect. However, he was worried about the Lin family. It was better for the Sword Sect to disappear from this world. Although this idea was a little evil, there was no other way. This was also Lin Rei's idea of protecting his family. If it was just a glance, not to mention a year, Lin Rei would directly rush up and destroy the Sword Sect without blinking. The scene was very quiet. Wang Yun didn't dare to say anything. He was very clear about his own cultivation. Therefore, he wouldn't overestimate himself and go out to die. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, when 2 hours had almost passed, Lu Changtian, who had fallen into deep thought, finally came back to his senses. The hesitation in his expression was replaced by determination. He, what do you think? Do you agree? If you agree, I'll really bring you to cultivate. I guarantee that you'll be able to destroy the Sword Sect within a year. He stared at Lu Changtian, wanting to get the answer he wanted. Not only Lin Rei, but even Wang Yun was waiting. He was waiting for Lu Changtian to make a choice. He really didn't believe that Lu Changtian, who had always been known for his benevolence, would agree. However, things often didn't go as planned. What you thought was exactly not what you thought. Under Wang Yun's gaze, Lu Changtian nodded and agreed. I accept this mission. I'll go to the Sword Sect in a year and personally destroy the Sword Sect. Ha ha! Okay, I've been waiting for your answer. Lin Rei had already guessed that Lu Changtian would say this. Therefore, he wasn't nervous at all. Looking at this disciple of his, Linley laughed and nodded. Since that's the case, then it's time for us to leave. Given your trashy level of training, it's going to be very troublesome for you to raise your cultivation level in a year. Lu Changtian was speechless. Lu Changtian felt helpless in the face of Lin Rei's merciless belittlement. It's not that bad. After all, I'm at the divine general level. Of course, Lu Changtian only dared to think about it. If he said it out loud, who knew what Lin Rei would do to him? Master, it's up to you. Lu Changtian nodded as though he had already decided to follow. Okay. Since that's the case, then. Lin Rei took a deep breath and continued. Let's go buy a map. I also want to see where the forbidden areas of this plane of existence are. Plop. As soon as Linley's words left his mouth, the sound of people collapsing to the ground could be heard. As far as the eye could see, aside from Linley, everyone else was stunned by his words. At that moment, Lu Changtian began to doubt if he had followed the wrong master. That was his first impression of Lin Rei. Compared to Lu Changtian, he couldn't help but feel that Lin Rei was a little unreliable. Why, do you have a problem with me buying a map? Lin Rei's expression turned cold as he talked about Lu Changtian and the others behind him. All of a sudden, the temperature in the air dropped and his cultivation slipped. No, I'll go buy it for you now. Right away. Lu Changtian wasn't afraid of anything but his master's wrath. He clearly felt the pain from before and the memory was still fresh in his mind. Brat, you're lucky that you ran away fast. Lin Rei chided as he watched Lu Changtian leave. Lin Rei, who had stood up, sat down again. At that moment, Wang Yun mustered up his courage and took a step forward. He quickly reached Lin Rei's side and said, Senior, I don't know why you're so obsessed with the sword sect. I don't understand. Please enlighten me. Lin Rei frowned as he looked at Wang Yun. Enlighten me? Yes, this junior really doesn't understand. The sword sect is my home. I will never allow my home to be destroyed. Wang Yun didn't know where his courage came from. When he said this, he was almost roaring. You're really brave. Lin Rei admired Wang Yun quite a bit. I will definitely destroy the sword sect. As for the reason, it's because some people in your sword sect provoked me, so there's nothing I can do. I don't like to leave trouble for myself. Wang Yun was stunned when he heard Lin Rei's words. He really couldn't figure out which bastard would be so stupid to provoke such an existence. In the distance, Long Huan Er's expression changed. At this moment, she could basically confirm that the Lin Rei in front of her was the descendant of the Lin family who had been in a coma for 8 years, Lin Rei. However, what she found hard to believe was that Lin Rei was so strong. According to his age, he was only 16 or 17 years old this year. Thinking of this, Long Huan couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. Her expression changed again and again. She really couldn't believe that Lin Rei's cultivation was so shocking that even her master wasn't a match for him. On the side, Long Huan Er's senior brother, Zhen Min, sensed that something was wrong with Long Huan Er and asked with concern, Junior sister, are you all right? Impossible, how is this possible? How can he be so strong after being in a coma for 8 years? Could it be that he wasn't in a coma for 8 years at all? Could it be that the Lin family spread fake news and he was actually secretly cultivating? At this moment, all these thoughts were confirmed one by one in Long Huan Er's mind. She didn't hear Zhen Min's words at all. However, Long Huan Er didn't know that when she voiced out her suspicions about Lin Rei's gaze fell on her. You seem to be quite curious about me. Chapter 10:18. No, I didn't. Linley's words came out of nowhere, and they were cold. Although Linley didn't mean it that way, after seeing how powerful Linley's cultivation was, and how he had casually said that he would wipe out a sect, everyone present felt a chill run down their spines. You didn't. Then why are you looking at me? You should know that lying in front of an expert is a very unwise thing to do. Although it didn't affect Long Juaner and Lin Rei, he could see from her eyes that she seemed to know him and knew something about him. However, Lin Rei didn't know who she was. This made Lin Rei a little confused. Looking at Lin Rei's piercing eyes, Long Juaner felt weak. She was considering if she should say what she was thinking. But if that was the case, would it bring trouble to her family? This series of problems was not something she could control, especially after seeing Linley's cold-bloodedness. She couldn't be sure. Juaner, if you have something to say, just say it. At this moment, Wang Yun spoke up. Right now, he was trying his best to get on Linley's good side, all for the sake of fighting for that tiny bit of chance for his sect. That's right, junior sister. Hurry up and say it. And that's right, junior sister. Hurry up and say it. Otherwise, if you make Lord wait too long, then. The young man stopped talking and didn't continue. Even so, everyone knew what the young man was going to say. Looking at how everyone was forcing her to say it, Long Juaner didn't know where her courage came from. Perhaps it was because she was so desperate that she forgot all her worries. She raised her head and looked at Lin Rei, who was looking at her with a smile. She said, "My name is Long Juaner. I'm from the Yen country's Long clan. When I heard your name just now, I remembered that the grandson of a friend of my family is also called Lin Rei, is that so?" Hearing Long Juaner speak her mind, Lin Rei suddenly understood what was going on. As for the Long family from the Yen country that Long Juaner mentioned, he had heard of this family when he was a child. It was said that they had a good relationship with his family, but that was all he knew. After all, he had been in a coma for 8 years, and he was too lazy to care about family matters. Yes, that's it. I wonder, are you a descendant of the Lin family, Lin Rei? Long Juaner asked with a serious expression, as if she really wanted to know the answer. Long Juaner wasn't the only one who wanted to know the answer. Even the sword sect's Wang Yun and his disciple, as well as Lu Changtian, wanted to know the answer. He was very clear about the Lin family. Back then, all the families isolated him, and there were even people who tried to persuade him to deal with the Lin family together. However, Lu Changtian didn't do that, but he also didn't help the Lin family. Instead, he chose to be neutral and didn't help anyone. Now that he thought about it, if his master was really a member of the Lin family, then his previous decision was really right. Otherwise, if Lin Rei knew that he had faced the Lin family in the past, then, as he thought about it, he shuddered. It wasn't good to continue thinking about it. The fear of Lin Rei had already been imprinted it had already been engraved in Lu Changtian's bones. Looking at everyone's expectant expressions, Lin Rei nodded. That's right. I am a descendant of the Lin family, Lin Rei. The person who was in a coma for 8 years, a Lin Rei who was almost considered dead. Linley's tone was very soft, but even though he didn't mean it, it was meaningful. Linley's words were like a nuclear bomb that had been thrown into a city, exploding and creating a huge storm. As for his identity, Lin Rei didn't deliberately hide it. Even if he said it, it didn't matter. After all, Tendo, the ruler of the heavens, was guarding the Lin family. He wasn't worried that the Lin family would be in danger. You really are. Looking at Lin Rei, Long Juaner's eyes widened. His expression was full of shock. He found it hard to believe that a person who had been in a coma for 8 years was now standing in front of him, alive and well. Moreover, his cultivation was so strong. What? Do you have any questions? Looking at everyone's stunned expressions, Lin Rei frowned. No. Lin Rei's frown attracted everyone's attention. At this moment, no one dared to speak. They were afraid that if they caused Lin Rei's dissatisfaction, he would kill them later. As for Long Juaner, Wang Yun, and the others, Lin Rei didn't give them a chance. Instead, he turned to look at Lu Changtian. Where's the map? Didn't you say you went out to buy it? Why are you back so soon? Master, Lin. Master, I bought the map you wanted. Hearing Lin Rei's inquiry, Lu Changtian subconsciously wanted to call out Lin Rei's name. However, the moment the word Lin appeared, Lu Changtian suddenly woke up and quickly changed his words. However, even so, Lin Rei could still hear him. As for Lu Changtian, he was so frightened by Lin Rei that his back was drenched in cold sweat. He didn't stop for a moment and his entire back was soaked. As he spoke, he quickly took out something similar to a beast skin from his bosom and handed it to Lin Rei with trembling hand. What's wrong? Are you cold? No, I'm not cold. Looking at Lu Changtian, he speechlessly took the beast skin and looked at it. Since you're not cold, why are you trembling? Heavenly Cloud Mountain. Something's called a forbidden area. A place where cultivators die. Volcanoes erupt non-stop. Lin Rei was surprised to see this place. TSK, this won't do. Although it's good, it's still not a place that can allow you to cultivate at your current level. Sensing that this wouldn't do, Seiji shifted his gaze to other places. Although the map didn't cover the entire Destiny mainland, it did cover the entire eastern region. Divine Valley? Whoa, Divine Valley. Such big words. Linley's interest was piqued by the name of this place. Fortunately, the map had some descriptions of the forbidden areas. Divine Valley. A mysterious place. After it suddenly appeared, it was shrouded in fog all year round. After the Divine Valley appeared, many experts went to explore it. However, in the end, not a single person survived. No, that's not right. One person came out from the Divine Valley. However, when he appeared, he kept shouting, "Run! Divine Valley!" Lin Rei's interest was piqued as he read the annotations for the Divine Valley. Moreover, from the annotations just now, Lin Rei noticed something strange. The Divine Valley had suddenly appeared without any warning. Moreover, it was shrouded in fog all year round. As the saying went, if something was abnormal, there must be a demon behind it. Lin Rei was interested in this place. More importantly, the sacred lake wasn't far from here. Judging by the distance, it would take him at most 10 days to reach here. Compared to other places, this place was the most cost-effective. This is the place. Where? Upon hearing Lin Rei's words, Lu Changtian walked over and lowered his head to look at where Lin Rei was pointing. The moment he saw the words Divine Valley, Lu Changtian's entire face collapsed. It was as if he had eaten a dozen dead flies. Divine Valley? That's right, it's the Divine Valley. This time, you need to train in the Divine Valley. Although I don't know how dangerous it is, this place is close. Lin Rei spoke very seriously as he looked at Lu Changtian. He was speechless. Lu Changtian was completely defeated by Lin Rei's last sentence. Alright, let's not talk about it anymore. Let's go. We've wasted so much time here. It seems that we need to speed up. Without giving Lu Changtian any time to think, Lin Rei dashed out of the restaurant and rushed in the direction of the Divine Valley. Watching Lin Rei leave, Lu Changtian felt an inexplicable urge to become an adult. However, in the end, he shook his head helplessly. He stood up and released his cultivation as he chased after Lin Rei with all his might. Wang Yun and the others were already in the restaurant. When they saw the two leave, they were stunned for a long time before regaining their senses. It seems that I need to return to the sect as soon as possible and report what happened here to Senior Brother Sect Master. When he recalled Lin Rei's words, he had no choice but to speed up. This was because there wasn't much time left for him and the Sword Sect. 1 year. 1 year was nothing to a sect. At this moment, Wang Yun couldn't wait any longer. Let's go back to the sect. Back to the sect? Hearing the news, Long Huaner and the others were stunned and questioned. Yes, back to the sect. Right now, this matter concerns the life and death of the sect. I feel a little negligent. After saying that, he walked away. As for Long Huaner and the others, they had no choice but to leave with Wang Yun. In the heavenly realm, in the Xuanzong sect, Lin Tian's expression was anxious. He used his movement technique to the extreme and rushed towards the secret realm in the depths of the Xuanzong sect. Young master, wait for me. I'll be able to find you soon. As long as I find Xie Feng, with her help, I can break through the space and go to the other plane. Thinking about this, he arrived at the secret realm. The two of them came here to find the two girls. A young lady, Lin Tian, requests to see you. When he arrived at the secret realm, he softly called out to the secret realm. Suddenly, circles of ripples rushed out in all directions. Suddenly, the entire secret realm was filled with Lin Tian's voice. At this moment, on a cliff, Ying and Bing, who were cultivating with their eyes closed, suddenly retreated from their cultivation when they heard this shout. They opened their eyes and looked up at the entrance of the secret realm. Their expressions were full of doubts. Lin Tian? He's back? The two girls looked at each other. Their expressions were full of doubts, but they still got up and rushed towards the entrance of the secret realm. At this moment, at the entrance, Lin Tian felt two terrifying auras again. A smile appeared on his face. He knew in his heart. He waited quietly. After a while, the two girls appeared in front of Lin Tian. Looking at the two girls, Lin Tian hurriedly bowed and said respectfully, "Subordinate greets a young lady today. Please get up quickly. If husband knows about this, he will definitely blame us." "Yes, husband said before that there is no such thing as a commoner or servant between you two. You two are brothers, so, no. Without waiting for the two girls to finish their words, Lin Tian hurriedly refused. "I can't listen to young master on this matter. When I was young, I was bought by madam to accompany young master. If it wasn't for young master, I'm afraid I would have been dead. If it wasn't for young master, how could I have such a status and cultivation today?" Seeing that he was so persistent today, the two girls didn't insist. In the end, they could only change the topic. "By the way, why did you come today? A young lady, I don't know if you have Xie Feng's contact information. I want to ask Xie Feng to open the space for me to pick up young master." Lin Tian hurriedly said. "What? Young master, you mean you know where young master is? Are you sure?" The two girls were stunned when they heard what Lin Tian said today. As his wives, they were completely unaware. Now, Lin Tian had suddenly returned and even brought news about Lin Rei. This caused them to feel slight disbelief. "Yes, I asked the members of the Heavenly Secret Pavilion to check young master's information earlier. In the end, they told me that young master's aura is actually at a last day's plane that's extremely far away from here." The Heavenly Secret Pavilion? When he saw the two girls were so bewildered, Lin Tian nodded. "Right, the Heavenly Secret Pavilion is a sect that young master asked me to establish in secret. It's a place that specializes in buying and selling information, and it has taken in some geniuses in fortune-telling." When she heard up to here, Ying's expression lit up. So in this way, young master might really be at that plane they spoke of. "Yes, it's very likely. Even though I can't be sure, it's better than having no information about young master." As he looked at the two girls that had lowered their heads and were lost in thought, Lin Tian was extremely anxious, and he felt extremely unwell. "A young lady, shouldn't you tell me how to contact Xie Feng first? After all, only she's a saint here, and only a saint is capable of breaking open the barrier of space and not suffering the threat of spatial turbulence." Lin Tian's words pulled the two girls back to reality, and they turned around to look at Lin Tian with extremely strange expressions, as if they were saying that he was probably an idiot. "What's wrong?" When he sensed the unusual expressions of the two girls, Lin Tian instinctively asked this question. "The two of us are saints, so there's no need to look for Xie Feng. The two of us can take you there. But the pressure of breaking open space might be extremely great. Moreover, spatial turbulence isn't a joke. Are you sure you want to come with us?" This was what Ying was most worried about. She wasn't belittling Lin Tian, nor was she looking down on him, but she didn't dare to take Lin Tian with her. After all, they had just become saints, and it was inevitable that they would be a little unfamiliar with the abilities of saint. I'm not afraid. As long as I can see young master, I'll go even if I have to die. You sigh, all right. They had no choice but to give in to Lin Tian's stubbornness. In the end, the two girls agreed. After receiving Lin Tian's accurate information, the two girls used their cultivation and stretched out their hands to aim at the space. With their cultivation, they forcefully tore open a crack in space, and the three of them rushed in. However, tearing open space didn't mean that it would disappear immediately. The moment the two girls disappeared, the space that was originally torn closed again. When the space closed, several figures flashed to the place where Lin Tian and the other two had left, and their expressions were solemn. Did you feel it? It felt like someone tore open the space here just now. Yes, I felt it. But who could it be? Who? Haha, who else could tear open a spatial crack in the secret realm besides the matriarch? Hearing this, everyone was stunned for a moment before nodding in relief. The few of them glanced at each other before fading away. The secret realm returned to silence, as if nothing had happened. However, Lin Tian and the others didn't know that they had left, and Lin Rei, who was far away in the destiny plane, also didn't know that the three of them would pass through the spatial crack to look for him. Chapter 10-19. The Divine Valley was a place that all cultivators in the Yen country would tremble in fear upon hearing its name. In the Yen country, the Divine Valley might have the word divine in its name, but in everyone's eyes, the Divine Valley was a place of death, and it represented death. Normally, no one would enter the Divine Valley. Of course, only the idiots or crazy cultivators would enter the Divine Valley. Of course, they wouldn't be able to come out. Boom! A thunderous sound rang out. In a forest in the Divine Valley, the sky quan monkey that was washing its head fell to the ground. It was dead, and its body was full of holes. If one were to throw away the corpse, they would definitely see that the bones of the sky quan monkey were all broken. There wasn't a single place that was intact. Master, that's enough. This is the 20th demonic beast for today. Spare me. Look, I haven't even eaten yet. You can't torture me like this. At this time, Lu Changtian looked at Lin Rei, who was sitting under a tree and gnawing on a demonic beast's leg. His eyes were filled with resentment. Tired? Lin Rei, who was eating happily, heard Lu Changtian's complaint. Lin Rei stopped eating and turned to look at the dying sky quan monkey on the ground. A cold light flashed in his eyes. Tell me about the standards I set for you. Hearing this, Lu Changtian was startled. Then, he recovered and said, to kill a demonic beast, you need to use internal strength. You are only allowed to shatter the demonic beast's bones. You cannot injure its body. This is standard. At the end, Lu Changtian turned to look at the sky quan monkey that he killed. Yes, all the bones in its body were shattered, but the surface of its body was full of holes. It was a miserable sight, and this was the proof that he didn't meet the standard. Compared to this, Lu Changtian had the urge to cry. Yes, in the past month, his cultivation has improved, but the hidden strength you mentioned is a very profound method. You have only demonstrated it twice, and have not used it even once. Although you know me, but with my insignificant cultivation, aren't you being too? Humph, good for nothing. Without waiting for Lu Changtian to finish his words, Lin Rei snorted coldly, his face turning gloomy. If you want to be above others, if you want to be respected by others, and if you want to control your own life, you have to do what others can't. Back then, it only took me 3 days to cultivate to the level of internal strength. But you, it's been a month, right? Look at you. Although your cultivation has improved, you're still at the same level as before. You haven't improved at all. If this were to spread out, where would I put my old face? Tell me. The words that he had prepared long ago couldn't come out of his mouth. It wasn't that he didn't want to say it, but that his master was too talkative. He was so talkative that he felt a little hopeless. Thinking back to his previous life, compared to now, it was like heaven. There were people serving him every day. Other than cultivating, he was still cultivating. But now? Not only did he have to take care of Lin Rei, but he also had to practice the hidden force every day. Of course, more importantly, he was despised, which deeply hurt his self-esteem. What? Do you think what I said makes sense? Seeing that Lu Changtian was speechless, Lin Rei smiled and continued, So, now turn around and walk 300 meters forward. There is a Quan Tianho waiting for you there. Remember the essentials of the hidden force. I'll give you one more day. If you can't cultivate the hidden force, I'll tie you up and let you know what it means to cry for help, but to beg for mercy. I remember that the Quan Tianho likes to eat brains. I've always heard about it. If I can see it with my own eyes, it's really Lu Changtian. Lin Rei's words were like a sharp sword that stabbed into Lu Changtian's heart. A chill ran down his spine and his back was soaked in cold sweat. He had experienced Lin Rei's terror. If he had to choose, he would rather fight the Quan Tianho than be punished by Lin Rei. He couldn't bear the consequences. Looking at the skeleton next to him, Lin Rei angrily shouted at Lu Changtian, Why aren't you going? Can't you see that I don't have anything to eat? I'll go now. Sometimes, he really suspected that Lin Rei didn't make him fight the Quan Tianho to practice the hidden force, but to eat. The Quan Tianho was famous in the Book of Magical Beasts in Tianming. Not only was its cultivation strong, but more importantly, its meat was famous in Tianming for being delicious. The Quan Tianho grew up drinking monkey wine, so its body contained a lot of spirit energy. However, although the Quan Tianho's meat was good, no one dared to challenge them. It was because the Quan Tianho was a social animal, and they were very united. As the saying goes, when one person is in trouble, there will be help from all sides. This was the Quan Tianho's specialty, and what humans really lack. At this moment, Lin Rei didn't know that Lin Tian was bringing the two girls from the divine realm to Tianming. At this moment, Lin Rei was focused on his food, especially the Quan Tianho. One must know that Lin Rei liked it very much. Especially after eating it for the first time a month ago, he was infatuated with this delicacy. Just as Lu Changtian thought, the reason why Lin Rei kept killing the Quan Tianho for the past month was not for anything else. Of course, it was also to let Lu Changtian practice the hidden force. These two were average, but Lin Rei was more inclined towards Lu Changtian's practice. After Lu Changtian left, Lin Rei stretched out his hand, and a suction force appeared. Suddenly, the Quan Tianho that was killed by Lu Changtian appeared in front of Lin Rei. Hee, let's go, there's good food. Looking at the enormous corpse of the skycracker monkey in front of him, Lin Li didn't hesitate at all. He stretched out his hand and a small knife appeared in his hand. One small knife after another appeared, and the corpse of the skycracker monkey, which had been killed by Lu Changtian, was instantly dissected by Lin Li. Using a very skillful method, he threw away some of the inedible things. Then, he used a big iron stick to roast the Quan Tianho. His movements were very smooth. Why is this kid so stupid? It's been a month, but he still hasn't succeeded. Lin Rei rolled his eyes as he watched Lu Changtian fight with the demonic beasts. Could it be that this kid is not suitable for this path? While roasting the meat, he checked on Lu Changtian's situation. However, seeing how stubborn he was, he didn't say anything. If it's really as I think, then it seems that I have to change my path. I can't let him keep busy. If this goes on, not only will it delay him, but it will also delay my time. Lin Rei fell into deep thought. His mind was filled with thoughts of paving the way for Lu Changtian in the future. Lin family. 5 days ago, the Lin family welcomed a group of uninvited guests. It was none other than the Huangfu family. However, the Lin family was heavily guarded during this period of time. The Lin family still couldn't let the Huangfu family in. Especially this time, they were definitely here for the Huangfu Old Master. The Lin family couldn't let the Huangfu family into the Lin family. If they were to know that something had happened to Old Master Huangfu, the entire Yan country would be thrown into turmoil. It must be known that if something happened to a family's patriarch, just the internal strife within the family would implicate a wide range of people. Just for the Zhang family's patriarch alone, the entire Huangfu family would be thrown into chaos. Of course, the Lin family naturally wouldn't be afraid if the Huangfu country was in chaos. However, if the neighboring country took advantage of this, then the 3 sons of the Lin family would die with everlasting regret. 5 days. 5 days. 5 days. The Huangfu family stood in front of the Lin family's door and didn't leave. It was for no other reason than to get information about the Huangfu Old Master. Lin family, you've gone too far. My grandfather came to the Lin family as a guest and hasn't returned for more than a month. What are you trying to do? Are you threatening the Huangfu family? Huangfu Jing spoke. 5 days had already worn down her patience. As a proud daughter of the heavens, she had never suffered such grievances. Lin family, are you trying to start a war between the families? You have to know that if you do this, the entire city will become hell. When that time comes, the Lin family won't be able to escape unscathed. After Huangfu Jing spoke, the rest of the Huangfu family also spoke. They couldn't wait to know what happened to the old master. Some of the collateral families also received news of the old master's death. Because of this, they could become the masters of the Huangfu family. In the Lin family, Master Lin sat in the main hall. Hearing the commotion outside the door, his brows were tightly knitted together and his expression was gloomy. He was clearly worried about the Huangfu family. Beside him, Huiyun's expression was even worse, especially when she heard the Huangfu family's clamor. Father, are we just going to let the Huangfu family go on like this? That's right, Father. We can't go on like this. Sigh. Master Lin sighed. His expression was bitter. How could I not know? But that old man is already dead. If the Huangfu family finds out, it will definitely lead to a fight for the throne. If that was the case, the neighboring countries would seize this opportunity to invade the Yan country. If that was the case, then Boss and the others' sacrifice would be in vain. This Fire Cloud would rather go to the battlefield and kill the enemy than suffer like this, especially when he heard the endless clamoring at the door. Sigh, there's no other way. Just bear with it. I don't believe that they can continue like this. As he spoke, Master Lin stood up and walked towards the inner hall. He left behind Huiyun and the Lin family's sea. Seeing the old master leave, the two of them looked at each other helplessly. All right, sister-in-law. Since father has said so, then let's bear with it. After all, after this incident, the Lin family's reputation will be greatly improved. Perhaps we can return to our former glory. All right. It seemed that because of this incident, Huiyun was tired. She stretched and then nodded to see. I'll go in first. With that, Huiyun left. Only the Lin family's sea was left in the hall. Damn it. Don't push me too far. 2 days. If you don't leave in 2 days, I don't mind using some extreme methods. It seemed that the Lin family's sea was completely anxious. Otherwise, this wouldn't have happened. Far away in the Divine Valley, Lin Rei didn't know that the Huangfu family had already arrived at the Lin family's residence, and that a war of words had broken out. If Lin Rei was here, he would have killed them. Kill one to warn the others. If killing one wasn't enough, then he would kill 2. If that still wasn't enough, then he would kill all of them. In Lu Changtian's opinion, 1 day wasn't enough at all, especially when it came to cultivating internal strength. To him, it was simply a pipe dream. It wasn't realistic at all. 1 day passed quickly. In the end, Lu Changtian didn't achieve what Lin Rei wanted. It seems that I have to change your cultivation path. Internal strength might not be suitable for you. No. Master, you. Lu Changtian was dumbfounded. He didn't think that Lin Rei would want to change his cultivation path. Wouldn't all his previous efforts be in vain? Thinking of the hard work he put in over the past month, he was unwilling. He was unwilling. As someone who had been reborn, Lin Rei understood Lu Changtian's thoughts. I know you're unwilling, but you haven't succeeded in cultivating internal strength for over a month. Do you think it's necessary to waste time on this? Hearing this, Lu Changtian was silent. He understood Lin Rei's meaning, but he was still unwilling. As a former city lord, he had his own dignity. At the same time, he wanted to be responsible for his own self-esteem. He was unwilling. He wouldn't admit defeat. After thinking for a while, his originally hesitant eyes became firm. Master, I still want to learn internal strength. I don't want to change my cultivation path. You. Lin Rei didn't expect Lu Changtian to be so stubborn. But this was precisely what Lin Rei appreciated. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. I want to cultivate internal strength. Are you sure? Lin Rei was confirmed again. Yes. Well, good. In that case, you must devote yourself to cultivation. You can't slack off. Do you understand? Yes, I understand, Master. Good. I will devote myself to guiding you so that you can learn internal strength in the shortest time possible. However, you must remember that this is your last chance. If you can't learn internal strength this time, I will have no choice but to change your cultivation path. Yes, I understand, Master. Lu Changtian had his wish fulfilled. He smiled. Amen, go pack up. We'll go to the depths of the Divine Valley. We'll train you as we go. After saying that, he turned around and walked toward the depths of the Divine Valley. As for Lu Changtian, he brought along the spiritual herbs and some other miscellaneous things he collected along the way before chasing after Lin Rei. Hidden power, Sai. Little Tian, do you know that this hidden power is only the beginning of cultivation? It can't even be considered as cultivation. If you can't even pass this stage, then your fire dragon vein can be considered to be crippled. Thinking about Lu Changtian's fire dragon vein, Lin Rei wanted to immediately stimulate it. If that was the case, Lin Rei believed that Lu Changtian would be able to cultivate internal strength in a day or even less. Moreover, his strength would increase greatly. He might even be able to reach the foundation establishment realm or even higher. However, it was a pity that he was like a clay bodhisattva crossing a river. He couldn't even protect himself. In this era where spiritual energy was scarce, he didn't even know how to recover his cultivation. How could he stimulate Lu Changtian's bloodline? Chapter 10:20. On the road to the depths of the Divine Valley, Lin Rei kept explaining to Lu Changtian about cultivation. Lu Changtian was like a child, obediently and seriously listening. He didn't show any signs of impatience. On the contrary, he looked very excited. Whenever Lin Rei talked about something interesting, Lu Changtian couldn't help but exclaim in excitement. In contrast, Lin Rei didn't show any reaction. After all, he was talking about the general knowledge of cultivation and not the martial arts knowledge of the heavenly fate world. At this moment, Lu Changtian knew that the world was so big and he was so insignificant. Especially when he heard Lin Rei talking about cultivation, he felt that he was in front of him. As for the matter of cultivation, he understood that the heavenly mandate martial cultivator realm was just the beginning of the path to cultivation. That was all. In contrast, Lu Changtian was looking forward to cultivation even more. At the same time, he was even more motivated. He wanted to become stronger. This was his wish since he was young. No matter how many years had passed, this wish was still there. As the saying goes, if one was born as a human, if one didn't put his life on the line, wouldn't it be a waste to live in this world? Master, how much further do we have to go? Lu Changtian, who was walking behind Linley, had a bitter look on his face as he dragged his tired body along. He clearly didn't want to go any further. Hee hee, you brat. Understanding Lu Changtian's meaning, Lin Rei smiled faintly and said, "Let's stop and rest for a few days. I just sensed a lake in front of us." After saying that, Lin Rei didn't say anything else and didn't stop. He even quickened his pace. In contrast, Lu Changtian, who was following behind him, had a bitter expression on his face. "Are you teasing me? Master, you've had an easy journey, but what about me?" After saying that, he couldn't help but recall the hardships he had to go through. "I helped you pick spiritual herbs and beat demonic beasts. What do you want me to do? I haven't rested for a day. It's very tiring." However, no matter how much he complained, Lin Rei acted as if he didn't hear him. He leisurely walked forward and hummed a tune. He was very uncomfortable. "I have a little donkey, but I never ride it." Lin Rei hummed the tune with a special charm. He sounded like a singer from Aqua Planet. No, it should be said that he sounded better than a singer. When Lin Rei hummed the tune, Lu Changtian's heart was filled with mixed feelings. He was very unhappy. However, what could he do? In the end, he could only swallow his anger. "Just you wait. When I surpass you one day, I will definitely beat you to the ground and let you have a good beating. I will let you experience what I am feeling right now." If Lin Rei knew what Lu Changtian was thinking, he would definitely sneer because what Lu Changtian said didn't exist at all. In terms of cultivation, Lu Changtian probably had no chance to catch up with Lin Rei in this lifetime. Even if Lu Changtian had the fire dragon vein, in front of the Hongmeng sovereign bloodline, Lu Changtian's bloodline was trash. It wasn't even worthy of carrying the shoes of Lin Rei's bloodline. Thus, there was no way this was going to happen. At the same time, if Linley knew what Lu Changtian was thinking, then he would be in an extremely miserable state, so miserable that he would suspect that he had been born into this world. It wasn't a lie at all. At this moment, Lu Changtian already had this kind of feeling. With an exhausted body, he dragged big and small bags, as well as the delicious demon beasts that he had killed along the way, and followed behind Lin Rei. Especially his luxurious clothes, at this moment, had naturally become a stripper. Coupled with the big and small bags, he was undoubtedly a refugee. Sigh, how did I end up with such a master? Looking at Lin Rei, Lu Changtian was filled with regret. However, even if Lin Rei treated him like this, if he was given another chance, he would still choose to become Lin Rei's disciple. Not for anything else, but to become an expert, to become the strongest person. This was probably what all martial cultivators thought in their hearts, what they wanted to pursue in their lifetime. Tiandang Mountain, at the entrance of the Sword Sect, Wang Yun brought Long Huaner and the other two, and finally returned to the sect today without stopping to rest. Looking up, he looked at the two vigorous and powerful horizontal boards of the Sword Sect. His expression was filled with silence and seriousness. At the same time, his heart was filled with endless worries. Almost 2 months had passed, so he still had 10 months left. What he needed to do now was to return to the sect and tell the sect master, Ling Jianzi, about this matter. Although he understood that even if he told Ling Jianzi that Lin Rei wanted to destroy the Sword Sect, he couldn't do anything about it. If he didn't understand Lin Rei's strength, of course, he would think that he was joking. However, Lin Rei's strength made him feel fear, boundless fear, as if his entire soul had fallen into a bottomless abyss with just a glance. Sigh, I hope this matter isn't as serious as I imagined it to be. If Lu Changtian were to make a move, it would still be possible. However, if Ruo Lin were to make a move, then... Thinking about this, Wang Yun frowned. Let's go. In a while, all of you will return to your respective residences. If I were to hear about what happened earlier from the other disciples, all of you should know what the consequences are. After saying that, he ignored them and walked straight into the sect, toward the main hall at the apex. Along the way, when all the disciples saw Wang Yun, they all addressed him as elder. However, Wang Yun didn't seem to hear the disciples' respectful titles. At this moment, how could he be in the mood to care about these things? Right now, the only thing he was thinking about was whether Lin Rei would really come at the end of the year, and whether his sword sect would really be destroyed like what they said. Although all of this was still unknown, it was still necessary to nip the problem in the bud. Wang Yun's speed was very fast, so fast that he flashed past and finally arrived before the main hall. Standing at the entrance and feeling the tense atmosphere in the main hall, Wang Yun was taken aback. He revealed a solemn expression. What's going on? Why are all the elders back? Shouldn't they be recruiting disciples now? Why are they all back? Could it be because of Lin Rei's matter? Thinking of this possibility, he immediately shook his head and threw away this thought. No, they don't know about Lin Rei's matter at all. So why? Forget it. Let's go in first, Wang Yun said, shaking his head, throwing the troublesome matter to the back of his mind, and walked into the main hall randomly. Junior brother Wang Yun? Why are you back? At this moment, Wang Yun's appearance in the main hall attracted everyone's attention. There were doubts and doubts. Sect leader, perhaps this time, our sword sect is in big trouble. After hearing this sentence, everyone in the hall was taken aback and their expressions turned solemn. You know about it? Wang Yun, who was walking, was stunned when he heard this sentence that came out of nowhere. He stopped moving forward and looked at Ling Jianzi in confusion. What did senior brother sect leader say? Wang Yun asked subconsciously. You? Wang Yun's question, coupled with his stunned expression just now, stunned Ling Jianzi. He began to suspect that Wang Yun didn't know what happened at all. But the problem was, if Wang Yun didn't know, then what did he mean just now? The sword sect was finished. He didn't say what he was thinking. He looked up at Wang Yun and said, the Yun Nation's Peace Heaven sect said that they want to have a competition with our sword sect, but, Peace Heaven sect? At this moment, Wang Yun knew that the conversation he had just had was completely wrong. It was completely wrong. However, there was a problem now. The Yun Nation's Peace Heaven sect had been coveting the sword sect's 10,000 army sword for hundreds of years. However, they had always needed the sword sect to be strong. So why was it like this now? Seeing that Wang Yun was silent, Ling Jianzi spoke again. This time, their wager is the 10,000 army sword. However, I heard that they found an omnipotent expert from somewhere. So, if we agree, I'm afraid that this time, we will be doomed. If we don't agree, our sect's reputation will be ruined because we don't dare to accept the challenge. I have discussed with my junior brothers. This time, no matter what, the sect's reputation is the most important. So we will fight. I am the same as senior brother sect leader. I choose to fight. Otherwise, you rascals will probably go to heaven. The 6 elders, except for Wang Yun, spoke in unison. Their expressions were filled with anger. In the sword sect, the elders did not submit to anyone. However, when the sword sect encountered difficulties, they would turn their spearheads to the external enemy. Wasn't there an old saying? I can hit you because we are on the same side. There is no problem with small fights. However, others can't hit you. Seeing that the elders and the sword sect leader were so united, Wang Yun revealed a smile. However, this smile was uglier than crying. Senior brother sect leader, let's put aside the matter of the Peace Heaven sect first. Now, a more troublesome matter has appeared. Moreover, it is very likely that our sword sect will be destroyed because of this matter. What? Upon hearing Wang Yun's words, everyone was shocked. However, some people were still skeptical because, in their opinion, the strength of the sword sect had already made the principality tremble. Even the neighboring Peace Heaven sect did not dare to confront them head-on. Looking at everyone's current appearance, Wang Yun had already guessed it. Yes, this is not a joke. It is true. Moreover what? Ling Jianzi asked subconsciously. Moreover, we still have 10 months. If we don't think of a countermeasure within 10 months, we will be destroyed. Believe me, this is not an exaggeration at all. If you see that person's methods and cultivation base, you will definitely understand that what I'm saying now is not an exaggeration at all. Everyone knew Wang Yun very well. He was an upright person who never lied. Moreover, his personality was flexible and changeable. Now that he was acting like this, it meant that this matter might be true. However, who was the person that Wang Yun was talking about? Why was he so powerful? Why had they never heard of him before? Questions appeared in everyone's minds one after another. They were puzzled. The sect did not seem to have offended such a person. Why Wang Yun, who was standing at the side, looked at Ling Jianzi as if he knew what he was thinking at the moment. The main reason for this matter is Huang Fu from the secular world, Huang Fu Jing. I don't know how she offended that lord. It's also because of her that that lord has a grudge against our sword sect. However, fortunately, there are still 10 months, and the person who will take action is only that lord's disciple, Lu Changtian. I hope that Lu Changtian's cultivation base won't increase too quickly within a year. Otherwise, our sword sect might really be destroyed. Of course, it's the same. That lord shouldn't take action. Otherwise, even if all of us attack together, I'm afraid we won't be a match for that lord. Hiss, upon hearing Wang Yun's praise for that mysterious person, everyone could not help but gasp with shock on their faces. Are you kidding? Since when did the Yen country have such a powerhouse? Why didn't our sword sect's information network send back any information? Someone at the side said. He was the contract demon in charge of law enforcement. Don't make wild guesses. The most important thing now is what to do 10 months later. If we just wait like this then, is there no other way? That lord must destroy our sword sect? Ling Jianzi said, his expression full of unwillingness. Yes. Wang Yun nodded. I also begged that lord back then, but it seemed to be useless. I can see that lord has the intention to kill us. At this moment everyone in the hall was silent. There was not a single sound in the huge hall. At this moment one could probably hear a pin drop on the ground. It was not an exaggeration at all. At this moment the hall was dead silent. No one knew how long this silence had lasted, and it was broken by Ling Jianzi. Alright, don't think about it anymore. We'll deal with whatever comes our way. At most. After a moment of silence, he paused for a moment before speaking again. At most, we'll move the sect. After all, the sect's disciples are the foundation of the sect. As long as the disciples are safe and sound, the sect will still exist. What? Everyone exclaimed. Their expressions were filled with disbelief. Moving the sect was not an easy matter. Furthermore, the sword sect had stood here for thousands of years. Now, they were moving just like that. How could they be willing to do so? This was not only the sect, but also the place where they relied on for survival. Some people were even born here. Asking them to leave was equivalent to killing them. Is there no other way? Do we have to move? Wang Yun said. His voice was filled with sorrow. As the saying goes, men don't cry easily. It's only when one is deeply hurt. At this moment, tears appeared in Wang Yun's eyes. Yes, senior brother sect master. Please think of a way. This is our home. Moving is too big a matter. Yes, senior brother sect master. After one of them spoke, the other elders also spoke one after another. They all expressed that they did not want to leave. You all. Looking at these companions and brothers who had accompanied him for a long time, Ling Jianzi did not know what to say. As the sect master, he must take care of everything. Now that they were facing a great enemy, there was only one way to move the sect. If what Wang Yun said was true, and that person was so powerful, this method was the best. There was no other way. Chapter 10:21 Divine Valley. After walking for 5 days, Lin Rei and Lu Shisui arrived at the middle of the Divine Valley. Of course, this was only Lin Rei's guess. However, according to Lin Rei's speed, he should have reached the bottom of the valley by now. However, because of Lu Changtian, the distance they had to travel was greatly reduced. Lin Rei felt very helpless about this. However, this was still acceptable. After all, after cultivating for a period of time, his cultivation had reached the late stage of foundation establishment. Although it was still extremely weak, it was already very good in this place where spiritual energy was lacking. During this period of time, Lin Rei had a general idea about the Divine Valley. After all, Lin Rei had heard about the Divine Valley on the map before. He was very familiar with this place. Now that he had truly entered the Divine Valley, he felt that the Divine Valley was not as terrifying as the rumors and maps described. If someone who understood formations was here, they would be able to tell that the Divine Valley was a natural formation created by the heavens and earth. Although it was not particularly powerful, at the very least, it would not be easy for someone from the Destiny realm to break it. Conservatively speaking, if one wanted to break this natural formation, their cultivation would have to be at least at the martial god realm in the Destiny realm. Buzz. A buzzing sound that sounded like a vibration sounded in Lin Rei's ears. Something strange happened and Lin Rei stopped moving forward. Why is there such a sound? In the Divine Valley, Lin Rei had no choice but to be careful. He had not completely recovered his cultivation yet. Although Lin Rei was not afraid of the formations here, the price he would have to pay to break them was enormous. After reaching the Foundation Establishment realm, Lin Rei had already opened his divine sense. He closed his eyes and released his divine sense. Everyone, everything, and everything within 1,000 meters appeared in Lin Rei's mind. Looking at the images in his mind, he did not see anything strange. His brows furrowed and his expression turned ugly. What exactly is it? Even I can't detect it. Could it be that the area covered by my consciousness is not large enough? This was very likely. After all, his current spiritual sense could only cover a range of 6,000 meters. If it was at his peak, Lin Rei would have been able to see through the entire heavens will. Forget it, I'll just deal with whatever comes my way. Unable to figure it out, Lin Rei ultimately chose to give up and let nature take its course. After all, his cultivation had yet to recover, so he had to be careful. What's wrong, master? At this time, Lu Changtian caught up with Lin Rei with bags of various sizes. When he arrived at the room, Lu Changtian stopped and froze in place. Lu Changtian hurriedly went forward and asked, You caught up?" After being woken up by Lu Changtian, he recovered his senses and turned his head. When he saw Lu Changtian, a smile appeared on his face, and the haze from before was swept away. Lu Changtian. Looking at his master, Lu Changtian sometimes really wanted to beat him to the ground and ruthlessly torture him. Unfortunately, he was no match for Lin Rei. In the end, this kind of thought could only become an extravagant hope. "Since you're here, hurry up and roast the meat for me. Can't you see that your master is still hungry?" What an unfilial disciple. Lin Rei himself didn't know why, but he liked to tease Lu Changtian whenever he saw him. He wanted to refute, but when he thought of how terrifying Lin Rei was, the final result was to compromise. "I understand. Don't worry, I'll definitely cook it for you." Without saying anything, he silently walked to an open space and started a fire skillfully. At this moment, he saw that Lu Changtian had been cooking a lot during this period of time. Lin Rei was very satisfied with Lu Changtian. After all, he chose it himself. Even if he regretted it, it was useless. Moreover, the other party was still a little bit outstanding. Buzz. Suddenly, the sound he heard before rang out. At this moment, Lin Rei was very sure that this sound really existed. Moreover, it seemed that only he could hear it because Lu Changtian was busy and didn't feel it at all. Just what is it? Why is it able to affect my Tao heart? Lin Rei was very interested in the origin of that mysterious sound. He could clearly feel that the moment the mysterious sound rang out, his originally calm heart seemed to be affected by that sound and started beating non-stop. As a former sage, Lin Rei was very clear about his Tao heart. Although it wasn't as firm as a rock, it wasn't the kind of Tao heart that would be affected by random things or sounds. The first time the sound rang out, Lin Rei might have thought it was an accident. But now, when the sound rang out a second time, he still had the same feeling. He knew that it wasn't a coincidence. It was real. There really was something in the Divine Valley. Moreover, this thing could affect his Tao heart. Everyone was curious, especially Lin Rei. His curiosity was off the charts. He wanted to see just what it was that could cause his Tao heart to tremble. Thinking about that, he turned his head and said, "Brat, you stay here and wait. I'll go ahead and take a look. Remember, if you encounter something powerful and you can't do anything about it, use the secret technique I taught you to escape. Although this method is very shameful, and although there are powerful demon beasts here, there's no other way. If it wasn't for me, your cultivation would at most reach here. As for the rest of the journey, remember, don't try it. Otherwise, even if I wanted to save you, it would be too late." You. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Lu Changtian wanted to refute. But when he saw the concern in Lin Rei's eyes, his rebuttal disappeared. "Don't worry, I know what to do." In the end, Lu Changtian let out a long sigh and nodded. "As for you, don't try to be brave. Remember, you're not alone. You brought someone with you." Although his words were a bit strange, he could feel the concern in them. "And I know. However, don't think that saying this will stop you from cooking. I'm just going out for a while. I'll be back soon. If you don't see me cook before I come back, your cultivation will be doubled." You. The words of concern for Lin Rei came to an abrupt stop. His expression became extremely ugly. However, Lin Rei didn't care about it at all. Looking at Lu Changtian's fierce gaze, Lin Rei smiled. He didn't say anything and turned to walk deeper into the valley. All that was left for Lu Changtian was his back. Looking at that back, he didn't have his usual imposing manner. Lu Changtian only felt loneliness. Be careful. Looking at that back, perhaps even Lu Changtian himself didn't know that in these 2 months, he had already acknowledged Lin Rei's identity. Otherwise, he wouldn't be like this. As for what Lu Changtian was thinking, Lin Li didn't know. All he knew was that he had to raise Lu Changtian into an expert who could stand above all others, an expert who could stand on his own. After leaving Lu Changtian, Lin Rei walked alone into the depths of the Divine Valley. However, at this moment, Lin Rei was a bit strange. With every step, Lin Rei would stop, close his eyes, and release his consciousness before leaving. However, what disappointed Lin Rei was that he still couldn't accurately sense the existence of that thing. Where is it? Standing in place, his face was filled with confusion and worry. He was confused because he didn't know where to go to find the thing that puzzled him. As for his worry, of course, it was because of Lu Changtian. It was undeniable that Lu Changtian's cultivation had improved a lot during this period of time. However, when he came here, he discovered that the cultivation of the demonic beasts here was very strong. It was fine before the middle level, but once they surpassed the middle level or entered the middle level, with Lu Changtian's current cultivation, it was like hitting a rock with an egg. They couldn't withstand a single blow. As for Lu Changtian, he didn't care if there was a problem with him. Although Lin Rei was no longer in the sage realm and wasn't the same person as before, his protective nature was indeed imprinted in his soul. Lin Rei's rule was that he could bully his people to the extent that others couldn't. If others dared to make a move, then Lin Ray would return the favor tenfold. This was Lin Ray, an extremely protective cultivator. The cultivators of the divine realm and the immortal realm were very clear about this. Buzz! At this moment, when Lin Ray was looking around, that sound appeared again. It was a vibrating sound. At this moment, Lin Ray could hear it even more clearly. It was as if that thing was right next to his ear. Damn it! What is it? Why can't I find it? He seriously felt the changes in his surroundings and operated his divine sense to the extreme. In the northwest, a trace of spiritual energy disorder flashed. Although the disorder was very weak, it was still discovered by Lin Ray. Bastard, I've finally found you. Just you wait. When I find you, I'll have to see just what it is that can affect my Tao heart, he said viciously. Then, he rolled up his sleeves and looked like he was about to go all out. With a leap, he instantly arrived at the place where the spiritual energy disorder was. An illusion array? Carefully feeling the changes in front, Lin Ray felt a trace of the aura of an array. As expected, a confident smile flashed across Lin Ray's face. He was sure that the place where the spiritual energy disorder was in front of him was the existence of an array. However, looking at the strength of the array, it was at most a heaven-rank array. Such a weak array, in front of a person who had cultivated the array to the saint realm, was like a preset array. It didn't matter whether it existed or not. Come, let me see what you are hiding in your heart. He raised his hand and mysterious runes flashed. A paragraph of bitter and difficult to understand incantation appeared in Lin Ray's mouth. Then, he waved his hand at the place where the spiritual energy disorder was. Break. Boom! A muffled sound echoed. The scenery and the surrounding scene disappeared and was replaced by a cave. The entrance was full of weeds, as if no one had come to this cave for a long time. The appearance of this scene was clearly beyond Lin Ray's imagination. He didn't expect this scene at all. You are here. Just as Lin Ray frowned and thought about whether to enter to investigate, a man's voice flashed in Lin Ray's mind. While he was stunned, he asked, "Who are you? Why did you make my Tao heart tremble?" Lin Ray was very curious about this. Moreover, from the voice just now, that person seemed to know him and had been waiting for him. Lin Ray, I have been waiting for you for a long time. Come in, you will know who I am after you come in. The voice sounded again. After hesitating for a moment, Lin Ray finally couldn't resist the curiosity in his heart and the throbbing in his heart. He clearly felt that his heart had made the right choice to let him in. I want to see what kind of thing you are. With that, Lin Ray took a step forward and his figure disappeared into the cave. At the entrance to the cave, Linley cast his gaze over. What he saw was a long, pitch-black tunnel. A gust of wind blew by. The wind was filled with the smell of blood and rotten things that made Lin Ray want to vomit. It was very unpleasant. Frowning, the curiosity on his face disappeared and was replaced with caution. The smell of blood here meant that this path was not simple. Interesting. The corner of his lips curled up and an evil smile appeared. He walked forward. However, Lin Ray was very cautious right now. After all, his cultivation was not as good as before. He was only at the foundational level. He had to be careful. Aolo, after walking for a while, a beast-like roar came from the front. As expected, Lin Ray wasn't surprised by this roar at all. After all, he had just arrived. Clang! The sound of a sword rang. Unknowingly, a meter-long sword appeared in Lin Ray's hand. Lin Ray manipulated his cultivation to the extreme. Myriad sword technique, one sword to break all technique. The myriad sword technique was activated by Lin Ray. The moment a beast appears, the myriad sword technique will rush out and kill the beast. After doing all this, Lin Ray walked forward without worry. At this time, deep inside the cave, a very spacious and grand cave appeared. At the top of the cave, an altar-like existence appeared. On top of the altar, a long spear with 9 dragons carved on it was inserted into the ground. What was surprising was that around the long spear, there were 9 iron chains as thick as an adult's arm that pinned it to the ground. If someone saw this scene, the first thing they would think was that this long spear was not simple. Or else it wouldn't have been sealed here. "Master, hurry up and come." A middle-aged man's voice rang in the spacious hall. His voice was full of excitement, as if he had been waiting for this moment for a very long time. "Don't worry. Since Master is here, he won't be far from us." "Yes, second brother. Master is a heaven-blessed expert. His cultivation has even broken through to the sage realm. Although I don't know why his cultivation has become weak now, don't forget how powerful he was before." Yes, I agree. Master's strength is not something we can imagine." At this moment, many different voices rang out. If Linley was here, he would definitely recognize that this long spear was none other than the Chaos Dragon Spear. As for the person who spoke, there was no need to think to know that it was the 9 dragons sealed in the long spear. However, when Ruo Linley saw the dragon spear, he would be even more shocked. At the same time, he would be puzzled. He appeared out of nowhere and didn't find any clues. Now that the dragon spear appeared, it was obvious that this was not a coincidence. It was as if it was arranged in advance. Chapter 10:22. Lin Ray had no idea about all of this. Of course, even if he knew, he wouldn't care. He believed in his own strength and luck. Cultivators were meant to fight with people, the earth, and the heavens. It was a joy to say that cultivators relied on their own efforts to reach a high level. That was pure nonsense. If a cultivator wanted to reach a high level, other than their own efforts, they also needed luck. Without luck, no matter how good one's talent was, it would be nothing more than a dream. Oh, the roar of the beast was getting closer and closer. From the sound, Lin Ray could tell that this beast's cultivation was very strong. Even with his current strength, he couldn't handle it. At this moment, Lin Ray let out a sigh of relief. For some reason, his heart calmed down. Clearly, not letting Lu Zhangtian follow him was the right decision. If he had followed him, based on the aura of the demonic beasts in front of him, Linley would have had a hard time dealing with him. If he brought along Lu Changtian, without a doubt, Lu Changtian would become a burden to Lin Ray. And Lin Ray would worry about Lu Changtian and lose the initiative. If such a strange discovery really happened, then in the end, not to mention entering the deepest part of the cave, even wanting to leave this place would be extremely difficult. Looks like I have to give it my all this time. Looking ahead, Lin Ray's face didn't have a trace of relief. There was only endless worry and excitement. The battle intent in his body soared to the sky. Although he was a little worried, as a former powerhouse, Lin Ray had his own dignity. In front of such an ant-like beast, he couldn't be timid. If it was in the past, not to mention a solemn expression, a single finger would be enough to crush the other party to death. Moreover, it would be as easy as blowing off dust. Unfortunately, the current him wasn't as strong as he was in the past. However, the arrogance of a strong cultivator still remained. The 10,000 sword arts was activated to the extreme. It contained 3 feet of cold light, and his divine sense was released to the extreme. If it wasn't for Lin Ray's powerful divine sense, there would only be one result for him to use his divine sense to such an extent at such a low level. That would be his divine sense collapsing to the extreme. If that really happened, Ing and the others in the realm of the gods would probably go crazy. However, the ones who wanted to go crazy the most were the system and the little dragon. After all, this was their masterpiece. If Lin Ray's divine sense collapses because of this, then the system and the little dragon would probably go crazy. If a person's divine sense collapsed, although it could be repaired, the things needed to repair it were astronomical. It could even be said that it was very lucky to find one of the things needed. Moreover, the most important point was that the divine soul had to be repaired within 6 hours of the divine soul's collapse. After 6 hours, even the God of creation would not be able to do it. Moreover, it was not certain whether there was a God of creation in this world. Found it. Just as Lin Rei's divine sense was on the verge of collapsing, finally, not far ahead, the figure of a Gorfine dragon with 2 meatballs on its head fell into Lin Rei's divine sense. Damn it, is this still the age of chaos? How could something like a Gorfine dragon appear here? Looking at the Gorfine dragon, Lin Rei had the urge to die. The Gorfine dragon was a creature born from heaven and earth, but it was a very terrifying existence. It was even listed as a species that must die once it appeared. It was because the Gorfine dragon was too powerful. It was so powerful that it made people despair. In the divine world, Lin Rei had read a legend in the Danzong Sect's library. The main character of the legend was the Gorfine dragon in front of him. It was said that the 4 Hunyuan heavenly saints had fought the Gorfine dragon. That battle was so terrifying that it almost destroyed the surrounding realms. In that battle, 3 died and 1 was seriously injured. Even so, they only managed to seal the Gorfine dragon in the end. It was said that the last Hunyuan heavenly saint, who was seriously injured, died in less than 10,000 years. This matter was a reminder to the people of the divine world. Once the Gorfine dragon appeared, it must be killed. It didn't matter if the other party was young or not. Although this would implicate some innocent people, no one wanted the same thing to happen again. They couldn't bear the consequences, and they couldn't bear the disaster that this matter would bring. Now, Lin Rei was a little dumbfounded. Looking at the Gorfine dragon in front of him, Lin Rei had a headache. However, he was also very excited. In his opinion, it was the honor of his life to be able to fight with such an expert. One had to know that 3 Hunyuan heavenly saints couldn't kill it. However, looking at the Gorfine dragon in front of him, it was very obvious that it hadn't reached adulthood yet. It was still in the state of a cub. Lin Rei was a little relieved. F***ck, what's going on? Shouldn't this thing only exist in the divine world? Lin Rei couldn't understand why the Gorfine dragon would appear here. F***ck, forget it. I don't want to think about it anymore. Who cares? Do what you want. Shaking his head, he threw the doubts and worries in his heart to the back of his mind. His battle intent rose again, reaching a peak. Lin Rei looked as if he wanted to give it a try. It was as if he wanted to rush up and fight at any time. A bestial roar sounded, as if it had sensed Lin Rei's provocation. The roar was mixed with a powerful king's pressure. Humph! The Gorfine dragon's pressure surged like a raging tide. As a foundation establishment cultivator, Lin Rei was instantly locked on by the pressure. He groaned, and a trace of scarlet blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. F***ck, are you messing with me? Feeling his internal organs churning, Lin Rei was dumbfounded. Just a mere pressure made him bleed. If the Gorfine dragon directly attacked, he didn't know what would happen to him. Looking straight ahead, Lin Rei suddenly had 2 choices in his heart. The first was to leave. Leave this dangerous and uncertain place. The second was to stay and fight with the Gorfine dragon. If he killed the Gorfine dragon and ate its gallbladder, he might not be able to recover, but he would at least be able to recover 1/3 of his strength. The moment the 2 choices appeared, Lin Rei was tormented. He had a headache. Between the 2 choices, it was obvious that Lin Rei preferred the latter. However, when he thought of the opponent's strength, he began to have a difficult choice. What should I do? Whoosh! In front of Lin Rei, where the Gorfine dragon was, it had already noticed Lin Rei. As a carnivore, Lin Rei was undoubtedly the most delicious food. Moreover, it had been here for so many years. There were too few demonic beasts and meat that could enter the cave. It had been 100 years. It had not eaten a real meat in 100 years. Now that it saw a meat, how could it give up? Its figure flashed for a moment, and in the next moment, it moved. Its long body was like a sharp arrow, disappearing in an instant. When the Gorfine dragon appeared again, it was already in front of Lin Rei. Its huge body did not hinder the Gorfine dragon's agility at all. All of this happened in an instant. What you, bang? Pfff. Lin Rei's divine sense was very sharp. However, when the Gorfine dragon disappeared, Lin Rei did not react. Instead, when the Gorfine dragon appeared in front of him and swung its tail, Lin Rei reacted. However, it was already too late. The moment the Gorfine dragon's tail swung onto Lin Rei's body, Lin Rei suddenly felt as if two mountains were squeezing him in the middle. His internal organs were shaken by this sudden impact, and his internal organs were instantly displaced. A mouthful of old blood spurted out, and his complexion instantly paled. His entire body became dispirited, and he was in an extremely miserable state. Bang! Bang! Lin Rei's figure was sent flying. He crashed into the stone wall 100 meters away, and only then did he come to a stop. Just like that, the stone wall that Lin Rei crashed into also shattered into pieces. A deep hole appeared. The cracks around the deep hole were like spider webs, densely covering the entire place. Pfff. Another mouthful of old blood spurted out, and his face became even paler. The pain in his chest caused Lin Rei to be exceptionally spirited at this moment. Motherf ****. Lying on the ground and feeling the pain in his inner palace, Lin Rei was stunned. He did not expect the Gorfine dragon to suddenly attack. However, what surprised him even more was that he was actually injured, and in such a miserable state. Much cough. How many years has it been? How many years has it been since someone was able to injure me like this? This feeling is very, very nostalgic. At this moment, Lin Rei's words were very similar to that of a masochist. If someone who did not know the situation heard it, they would probably think that Lin Rei was beaten silly. However, those who knew Lin Rei would definitely understand what he meant. He raised his head and looked at the bronze bell-sized blood-red eyes in front of him. A cold light burst out from the blood-red eyes, and he felt as if his divine soul was being frozen. Gorfine dragon, it is indeed powerful. Previously, he thought that the Gorfine dragon was at most exaggerated by the people in the book. But now, right now, he wanted to correct them. The Gorfine dragon was indeed very powerful. At least, he thought that the Gorfine dragon was very powerful. Right now, it was still in the state of a cub. Once it matured and fully grew up, how powerful would it be? If the fully grown Gorfine dragon encountered him at his peak, who would be the loser? At this moment, when Lin Rei thought of this question, he really wanted to give it a try. However, he understood that this was just an extravagant hope. With his current strength, not to mention finding his previous body, Lin Rei would thank the heavens if he could break through the void and leave this place. When he got up, the wound on his chest was affected. He sucked in a mouthful of cold air, and his face became even paler. On the opposite side of Lin Rei, the Gorfine dragon was furious when it saw that the human it had sent flying could still stand up. It felt that its dignity had been despised and provoked. It couldn't stand it. It had been many years since it had been provoked and despised by a human. What's wrong? Are you angry? Looking at the Gorfine dragon's shocking roar, Lin Rei grinned and said, "You only have this little ability, and you want to kill the Emperor in one move? Do you think it is possible? Even when you are an adult, I'm afraid you can't defeat the Emperor in one move. What's more, you are just a cub now." Hearing Lin Rei's words, the Gorfine dragon, who already had the intelligence of a 5- or 6-year-old child, was even more furious. What's the use of roaring? If you have the ability, let me in. As long as you let me in, I will show you the true strength of the Emperor. How about it? Lin Rei was gambling. He bet that the Gorfine dragon would be fooled. After all, demonic beasts valued their dignity very much, so, His bell-sized eyes stared at Linley, a savage light flashing in his eyes. It was as though he was mocking Linley, as though he was saying, "You think you can defeat me if I let you in?" Seeing this, Lin Ray smiled. He felt that he had made the right bet. "What? Do you dare? If you don't dare, I will leave now. As for your reputation," as he spoke, Lin Ray turned around and made a gesture that said, "If you don't dare, I will leave." It was very funny. Ow! Just as Lin Ray turned around, the Gorfiend dragon roared. The Gorfiend dragon's huge body moved to the side, making a path that only Lin Ray could pass through. The huge Gorfiend dragon nodded toward the depths of the cave as if to say, "Go in. I will wait here for you to come back and fight with me. When the time comes, I will eat you up." Lin Ray smiled. He didn't expect the Gorfiend dragon to be so gullible. Of course, there was a tricky problem. He could go in, but what if there was nothing he wanted inside? If there was nothing that could increase his combat strength, the final result would be the same. That was to be eaten. However, a chance was better than nothing. Looking at the path that the Gorfiend dragon made, Lin Ray's face turned serious. He stepped forward and walked in. Indeed, with the protection of the Gorworm, they encountered many monstrous beasts on the way. However, upon sensing the Gorworm behind Linley's back, all of them cowered away, no longer bothering with Linley. Lin Ray smiled at this. He just wanted to ask for a chance, but he didn't expect to get a bodyguard in the end. Along the way, Lin Ray didn't encounter any difficulties. Finally, he reached the end of the cave. "Phew, I'm finally here." Looking at the cave door in front of him, a line of text appeared. Seeing those words, Linley pursed his lips and began to laugh. "I traverse the 4 seas, stand above the 9 heavens. With a spear in hand, the world is mine." Damn, where did this idiot come from? How dare he say such shameless words? If this was the realm of the gods, the person who wrote this sentence would probably be caught and whipped by the people of the Holy Lands. Thinking about it, it was really possible. Even in this aspect, he wouldn't dare to say such shameless words. Laughing was one thing, but he still had to go in. He wanted to see what was hidden behind this door. Patter. Placing both hands on both sides of the door, he exerted force in his arms and released his foundation establishment stage cultivation. "Open for me." Suddenly, a fierce aura was released from Lin Ray's body, and the originally closed door was pushed open. Ka 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 ka. A sound like a mechanism was activated. The originally closed door that seemed to be made of gold, stone, and iron cracked open. So King heavy. Both of his arms were throbbing with pain. Linley couldn't help but curse, then continue. Time slowly passed, and in the blink of an eye, an hour had passed. Finally, the door was completely pushed open. Purring! A muffled sound rang out, filling the entire cave. Raising his head, he looked at the scene behind the door with a curious gaze. In the next moment, the smile on his face froze. In his mind, he remembered what he said when he saw the words on the door. "Who is so shameless?" This sentence was like a demon's voice lingering in Lin Ray's mind. It was as if it was engraved in his mind. Chapter 10:23. Chaos, Dragon Spear. Looking at the long spear in front of him that was surrounded by 9 azure dragons, Linley was stunned. His entire body was in a daze. One had to know that the Chaos Dragon Spear was the weapon that his predecessor had always used. He would never have thought that the weapon used by his predecessor would appear here, and in such a manner. We soul beasts pay our respects to Master. Just as Lin Ray was in a daze, the 9 dragons rushed out of the Chaos Dragon Spear and knelt down in front of Lin Ray in the air. The scene was very shocking. How is this possible? At this moment, the blood-horned dragon, who was standing behind Lin Ray, looked at the scene in front of him with a funny expression. He was no longer as calm as before and was completely dumbfounded. He had never seen a dragon before but had heard of it. The Blood-Horn Dragon Clan had inherited memories and was very familiar with the Dragon Clan. After seeing the 9 dragons, he immediately recognized them. When the Untainted Land was first created, the ancestors of the Dragon Clan were the Azure Dragons. However, the memories in his mind told him that there were only 4 Azure Dragons at that time. But now, what the hell was going on? 9 dragons. What the hell was going on? He wanted to drag his ancestors out of the 9 underworlds and let them tell him what was going on. All of you, get up. Looking at the 9 dragons kneeling in front of him in the air, Lin Rei hurriedly waved his hand to get them to get up. Yes, we accept your order. The 9 dragons got up and saw that Lin Rei and the rest were very excited. After being trapped here for so long, they were finally going to get out. How could they not be excited? Master, you came at the right time. We have been trapped here for so many years. Do you think it's easy to get that iron chain for us to get out? Yes, Master. We have been here for so long that we are almost useless. Master, hurry up. We really can't stand it here. There is nothing here. I am starting to miss the time when I accompanied Master to conquer the world. At this moment, the 9 Azure Dragons were chattering like children. Looking at them, Lin Rei was dumbfounded. He remembered that the 9 Azure Dragons were not like this back then. Why did they talk so much after not seeing them for a while? However, Lin Rei wasn't interested in them. He lowered his head to look at the metal chain that was wrapped around the chaotic dragon's spear and frowned. Who sealed the dragon's spear here? And with your strength, don't you know how to resist? He knew how powerful the 9 dragons were. Even the Blood Qilin was no match for them. Now they were being sealed. He couldn't figure it out. Also, how did you get here? I remember that I didn't bring anything with me when I left. One question after another was asked. Suddenly, the 9 Azure Dragons in the sky were stunned. They all looked at each other, their faces full of confusion. The Azure Dragon's reaction was enough to prove everything. It proved that they didn't know how he had appeared, let alone how he had been sealed. Lin Rei didn't have any hope for them. It was probably a fool's dream to get information about his appearance from them. That. Master, we don't know either. After what happened to you back then, we were forced into a deep sleep. When we woke up, we were already here and sealed. As for what happened along the way, we really don't know. As expected. Hearing their explanation, Lin Rei thought to himself. It was just as he thought. They didn't know anything. Looking at the pitiful Azure Dragons in the sky, Lin Rei felt a chill. He really couldn't figure out what the 9 Azure Dragons had been through in the past few years. Forget it. I'll leave them here to deal with the matter at hand. Although Lin Rei was shocked, he wouldn't forget about the Blood Qilin behind him. After making the decision, he instantly released his cultivation. He raised his hand and sent out mysterious seals. He also chanted a series of incomprehensible incantations. However, the Azure Dragons in the sky reacted brightly. They were so excited that they couldn't control themselves. They knew that they were about to regain their freedom. Suddenly, after Lin Rei chanted the incantations, the Chaos Dragon spear that was originally silent seemed to have come to life. Sounds of a spear rang out from the Chaos Dragon spear. Roar! The sound of the spear rang out and the Blood Qilin roared. Its roar was trembling as if it was expressing its fear of the Chaos Dragon spear. Of course, this didn't include its excitement. However, the chances of that happening were very small. Gotcha! The sound of something breaking echoed throughout the cave. One of the 9 chains broke. Roar! Master is too awesome. Master is still the best. Master is too awesome. I love you so much. Master, hurry up. I'm going crazy from holding it in. Lin Rei. Hearing the words of the 9 Azure Dragons, Lin Lei's entire body trembled. His heart was filled with disgust. He was now certain that while he was gone, the 9 Azure Dragons must have experienced something unknown. Otherwise, they wouldn't have said such misleading words. Master, seeing that the 9 azure dragons had no intention of stopping, Lin Rei finally couldn't hold it in any longer. He shouted to the sky, "All of you, shut up. Otherwise, don't blame the Emperor for making you stay here for a while longer." The moment Rinpochian finished speaking, the entire cave fell silent. One could probably hear a pin drop on the ground. At this moment, Lin Rei was very satisfied. But at the next moment, Lin Rei really had the urge to die. "Master, you scared me." One of the azure dragons spoke. Its words were full of flattery. However, its voice didn't match the situation. It even sounded a little disgusting. F***ck, I'm done. I'm done. Lin Rei stopped chanting. He turned around and was about to leave. He really couldn't stand these old things anymore. As the saying went, enough was enough. But now they were simply intolerable. Ugh. Dedaunt, master. We won't talk about it anymore. Lin Rei turned around and left. The 9 azure dragons were completely flustered. They hurriedly promised. Lin Rei, who didn't want to leave in the first place, stopped and turned around to look at the azure dragons. "Are you sure? If you do what you did just now again, don't talk about saving you. You can stay here forever. Anyway, the sage probably won't keep using weapons. Dedaunt dare." This time, the 9 azure dragons were afraid. If they really didn't save them like Lin Rei said, they would have to stay here forever. This wasn't what they wanted. "Yes, remember what you said." After saying that, Lin Rei returned to his original position and chanted the spell again. Kacha kacha. This time, Lin Rei increased the speed. The chains broke one by one. The azure dragons in the sky were filled with excitement. However, they didn't dare to make a sound. How is this possible? Who is this person? Why would a dragon recognize a person as their master? And such a weakling. In the eyes of the Gorfine dragon, Lin Rei was a weakling. Moreover, he was an extremely weak weakling. F***ck. If the azure dragons are saved, then will I still be a match for this person? After thinking through this question, killing intent burst out from his eyes. His figure moved and disappeared. Bastard. Lin Rei, who was removing the seal, felt the killing intent behind him. Lin Rei's heart shook helplessly. Lin Rei really didn't dare to compliment the Gorfine dragon's reputation. He didn't expect the Gorfine dragon to sneak attack him from behind. "A whoa. Ant-like existence, you actually dare to sneak attack my master when he is removing the seal for us. This sovereign will cripple you." Just as Lin Rei couldn't react, one of the azure dragons moved. It charged at the Gorfine dragon with anger. Bastard. Seeing the azure dragon charging down, the Gorfine dragon, who was still in his infant state, panicked. The inheritance in his mind made him understand how powerful the azure dragon was. Most importantly, the dragon race's bloodline was specialized in restraining the Gorfine dragon race. The Gorfine dragon had subconsciously lost to this azure dragon who had lived for who knows how long. Scram! My master is not someone you can touch. The azure dragon charged in front of the Gorfine dragon. Without saying anything, it used a divine dragon tail whip. The speed was so fast that the Gorfine dragon felt despair. With a muffled bang, the Gorfine dragon was sent flying by the tail whip just like Lin Rei. A roar came from the Gorfine dragon's mouth. From the roar, one could tell that the Gorfine dragon was in great pain. Furthermore, at the place where the Gorfine dragon was attacked, the original protective scales were shattered. Blood spurted out like a small spring. Humph! Ant, you actually dare to be arrogant in front of this exalted. Back then, your Gorfine dragon ancestor didn't even dare to fart in front of this exalted. You, on the other hand, actually dared to attack. Tell me, should I say that you're arrogant and conceited? Or should I say that you're courting death? Unfortunately, one could tell that the azure dragon was serious. One could tell from the disdain in his eyes. In the distance, the Gorfine dragon who was lying on the ground was filled with anger. He was unconvinced. He wanted nothing more than to rush up and swallow Lin Rei whole. Whoosh, he moved. With unwillingness, anger, and the dignity of their Gorfine dragon race, the Gorfine dragon soared into the sky. He knew that he was no match for the Azure Dragon. However, he wanted to fight for his dignity. Not bad. You have guts. Seeing that the Gorfine dragon was not afraid of death, the disdain in the Azure Dragon's eyes disappeared. It was replaced with seriousness and respect. Looking at the Gorfine dragon, the Azure Dragon said, "Are you sure you want to do such a foolish thing?" The Azure Dragon's words caused the Gorfine dragon to stop. He roared a few times as if saying, "Even if I can't defeat you, I still want to fight. I want to fight for my dignity. I want to fight for the dignity and honor of my Gorfine dragon race." Very well. Since that's the case, this exalted will fulfill your wish. Without saying anything more, the Azure Dragon's figure disappeared like a sharp sword. Bastard, where did he go? The Azure Dragon's disappearance undoubtedly caused the Gorfine dragon to feel extremely uneasy. With a frightened expression, the Gorfine dragon scanned his surroundings. He activated his spiritual awareness. However, the result was not ideal. Secretly, the Azure Dragon sensed the Gorfine dragon's spiritual awareness probing him. He sighed inwardly. I never expected that this little thing's spiritual awareness would be this powerful. Looking at the Gorfine dragon, the Azure Dragon thought to himself, what a pity. Although his aptitude is good, his bloodline is not that pure. Otherwise, I would be able to recover some of my cultivation by devouring him. Ever since he was thrown here for no reason, he found that his cultivation had plummeted from the original Sage realm to the current heavenly immortal realm. Now, he could only bully a little child. If the experts of the divine realm or the immortal realm knew about the 9 dragons' current state, they would probably rush over to snatch them. At that time, an unavoidable war of the century would unfold. The dragon clan was full of treasures. Even their divine soul was a rare existence. Moreover, these 9 dragons were the ancestors of the dragons, the Azure Dragon. Forget it. Let's finish this quickly and help Master recover his strength. After all, this is not the way to go in this age of chaos. Thinking about this, the Azure Dragon stopped hiding. His huge figure appeared in front of the Gorfine dragon. He opened his bloody mouth and bit down on the Gorfine dragon's vital point. Poochie, roar! The Gorfine dragon was 3 feet away from the Azure Dragon. The Gorfine dragon was like a small insect being held in the Azure Dragon's mouth. Blood flowed out and his aura was weak. He looked very miserable. Lin Rei was clear about the scene behind him. However, he did not stop the Gorfine dragon. Thinking about how he was defeated by the Gorfine dragon, it was good to let him suffer a little. Crack, crack, the sound of 2 chains breaking could be heard. This was the last 2 chains. Finally, the Chaos Dragon's spear regained its freedom. A vibration came from the Chaos Dragon's spear. The 9 dragons felt that the seal on their bodies had been broken. At this moment, the 9 dragons could not help but roar to the sky. Rumble. Lin Rei understood the 9 dragons' feelings. However, he was also in a bad mood at this moment. One should know that the 9 dragons were very powerful. Now that the 9 dragons were chanting in unison, the power was not something a small cave could withstand. Previously, it was fine because of the existence of the array. But now that the array was broken, the 9 dragons were completely released. The cave could no longer control the 9 dragons' cultivation. Raising his head, he saw that Flash was on the verge of collapse, as though it might collapse at any moment. Suddenly, Linley turned his head to look at the 9 dragons. I'll give you 3 breaths of time. If I hear you make even the slightest sound, I don't mind resealing you. You should be aware of my strength. Although my cultivation base is no longer there, I can still easily set up formations. Silence, a deathly silence. The 9 dragons didn't dare to speak again. The excitement on their faces had completely disappeared at this moment, and it was replaced by fear. They knew Lin Rei's array skills very well. Just like what Lin Rei said, although his cultivation was not here, it was more than enough to seal them with an array. Roar, however, in the dead silence, the Gorfine dragon's roar resounded throughout the hall. Lin Rei frowned slightly and turned to look. At this moment, the Gorfine dragon was thrown to the ground by the Azure dragon. It was lying on the ground with blood flowing out from its 7 inches. It looked very miserable. Looking at the Gorfine dragon, Lin Rei could not help but sympathize with it. Poor Gorfine dragon! Chapter 10:24. Roar! The Gorfine dragon let out a sorrowful howl. It was extremely frightening. Looking at him, Lin Rei could not bear to kill him. Although he wanted to refine him directly to increase his cultivation, he did not want such a powerful bloodline inheritance. If he took him for his own use, then, thinking of this, Lin Rei did not want to kill the Gorfine dragon anymore. I know you are very close to me. Looking at him, Lin Rei was very straightforward. He had no intention of hiding anything. Roar, he as expected. Seeing the Gorfine dragon's reply, Lin Rei smiled. He did not care at all. I know you want to kill me, but you need to have the ability to do so. If I did not take back my weapon, you might have. Oh no, you would definitely be able to kill me. But now, turning his head to look at the 9 dragons above him, he continued, do you think you are a match for me now? You can't even defeat my little brother. Do you think you can wake me up? Bastard, bastard! The Gorfine dragon roared in his heart. At this moment, he wanted to kill Lin Rei. If this happened, Lin Rei would not even need to say anything. He would kill him directly. Unfortunately, there was no medicine for regret in this world. Even if he regretted it now, he could only grit his teeth and swallow it. At this moment, the Gorfine dragon should be thinking about himself. What else could he do? Now that he was in the hands of his opponent, if he killed him, the entire Gorfine dragon clan would be destroyed. Perhaps other people knew this secret. Of course, perhaps they did not know. In his inheritance, he had obtained the Gorfine dragon clan. Now, he was the only bloodline left. If he died here, the Gorfine dragon clan would completely disappear from the cultivation world. Thinking of this, thinking that he would finally disappear completely, a sense of unwillingness surged in his heart. Compassion flashed across his face. In the depths of his compassion, there was a hint of determination. He wouldn't allow it. Yes, he wouldn't allow such a thing to happen. Because of his inheritance, he knew that his clan had almost been wiped out because of the Saint Holy Lands in the Saint's world. It was all because of the Xue Jiao's powerful cultivation talent, especially the treasures on his body. Although a blood flood dragon couldn't compare to a true dragon, it was still a blood flood dragon below a true dragon. One could imagine how good the items on its body were. Everyone in the world knew that the blood of the Gorfine dragon could increase one's cultivation. However, this method was against the will of the heavens. If people were to know about this, they would be regarded as a devil cultivator. Because only the devil path would use this kind of dirty secret method to increase their cultivation. Lin Rei, who had been paying attention to Xue Jiao, could see Xue Jiao's reluctance. The chance has come. Lin Rei knew that his chance had come. He looked up and said, Xue Jiao, why don't we make a deal? Xue Jiao, who was originally filled with unwillingness, looked up at Lin Rei in confusion when he heard Lin Rei's words. His expression was filled with confusion and resentment. What deal? Become my subordinate and I'll let you live, Lin Rei said directly without hiding anything. Of course, this is just one of the benefits of becoming my subordinate. Aside from letting you live, I can also guarantee that your blood flood dragon clan will reappear. Moreover, I heard that there is still one member of your Blood Flood Dragon clan alive. It's just that he seems to be suppressed in the Saints' world. What? What did you say? Xue Jiao became excited. His unwillingness instantly disappeared and was replaced with shock and excitement. However, there was also disbelief. That was because this information didn't exist in his memories. Looks like you still don't know. Seeing Xue Jiao's stunned expression, Lin Rei understood that he still didn't know about the heavenly blood flood dragon being suppressed in the Saints' world. You? What's going on? Xue Jiao asked. Lin Rei didn't try to hide the truth from Xue Jiao. He looked at Xue Jiao and told him about the major matter in the Saints' world. 10 minutes later, Lin Rei finally finished telling him about the matter. That's what happened. What happened back then was truly world-shaking. They almost destroyed the entire realm. However, unfortunately, that blood flood dragon was suppressed in the end. 3 saints died and 1 was injured. Xue Jiao fell silent when he heard Lin Rei's words. No one knew what he was thinking. So that's what happened. Xue Jiao knew that his clan had a deep hatred. However, he didn't think that things would turn out like this. Sigh. Xue Jiao let out a long sigh. His face was filled with helplessness. He thought about his current cultivation. His current cultivation speed was considered fast in a grand place like the Saints' world. Even so, he still had a very, very long way to go before he could reach the Saint realm. Xue Jiao thought about his clan's revenge and his current situation. Perhaps Lin Rei's condition could be a solution. As soon as this thought appeared, Xue Jiao's previous persistence collapsed. Xue Jiao understood that he had lost. How about it? Do you want to consider it? Xue Jiao's silence made Lin Rei a little impatient. Of course, you have to understand that with your current cultivation and the realm you're in, if you lack spiritual energy, do you think you can break through to the Saint realm? Oh no, let's not leave the Saint realm for now. Even if you break through to the void in this world, how many years do you think it will take? I think you must want to avenge your clansmen. You even want to rescue the suppressed blood flood dragon, right? Xue Jiao was shocked by Lin Rei. He couldn't figure out who this person in front of him was. Why did he have Cong Long with him? Moreover, he knew information that didn't even appear in the inheritance. I can help you. Lin Rei's face was full of confidence. What? You? Xue Jiao hesitated. After all, Xue Jiao was in the Saint realm, not some cabbage that could be found on the street. Yes, it's me. He knew what Xue Jiao was worried about. Then, he released the remaining divine might in his divine soul and instantly released it to put pressure on Xue Jiao. Boom! Xue Jiao's body stiffened and he stood there in a daze. His eyes stared blankly ahead, and his expression was full of shock, fear, and hesitation. At this moment, in Xue Jiao's consciousness, Lin Rei didn't look like Lin Rei in the real world. Lin Rei had returned to his previous body. As for the little Xue Jiao, in front of Lin Rei's divine might, he didn't look like before. In front of Lin Rei, he was just a small earthworm. He was so small that it seemed that Lin Rei could kill him with a single breath. How is it? This is the power of Emperor's previous body. Although I don't know why his original body is here, you should know that Emperor's previous body was an early-stage Dao Fruit Saint in his prime. He had countless saints under his command. Do you think the Emperor can help you? At this moment, Xue Jiao was silent. He raised his head and looked at Lin Rei in horror. His mind was running fast. If it's really like what Lin Rei said just now, then it's just around the corner to rescue my clansmen. But if I become Lin Rei's subordinate, then, thinking of the rules passed down in his family since ancient times, Xue Jiao felt a headache and was full of helplessness. Alas, what should I do? Should I accept Lin Rei's deal, or roar? Suddenly, Cong Long, who had been silent in the sky for a long time, roared angrily. He lowered his head and looked at Xue Jiao. His eyes were filled with disdain. Little guy, what are you hesitating for? It's your greatest honor to be able to become the subordinate of the city master. Let's not talk about helping your blood flood dragon clan rescue that sealed bastard. I can even help you increase your cultivation. Let's not talk about helping you stand at the peak of the Tao. At the very least, I can make your blood flood dragon clan stand above all other clans. When he said that, a hint of pride appeared in his eyes. Do you think you will still hesitate with such an outcome? When he said that, Lin Rei was stunned. He came back to his senses and nodded happily. What Sung Long said is exactly what I want to promise you. What do you think? 20 pairs of eyes stared straight at Xuejiao. They were all waiting for his response. Time passed by minute by minute. Xuejiao's hesitation gradually disappeared. Forget it. I'll agree. Putting aside the fact that he could enter the saint's world to rescue his clansmen, he believed that if he didn't agree, he would become a heavenly treasure for the person in front of him to increase his cultivation. He sighed and nodded heavily. Okay, I agree. I hope you can fulfill your promise to me. Then, he knelt on the ground and submitted. Blood Spirit Sky greets Master. In his sea of consciousness, Lin Rei breathed a sigh of relief when Blood Spirit Sky finally agreed. His face was full of smiles. Good. In that case, you will be Emperor's subordinate from now on. From today onwards, no one will dare to harm you. If anyone dares to harm you, Emperor will slaughter their entire clan. I will let them know that Emperor's people are not to be touched. Blood Spirit Sky, perfect ending. Ignoring Xuejiao's speechlessness, he focused on sensing his surroundings. He reached out and picked up the Chaos Dragon Spear that was still warm. He couldn't help but think of the scene when he first obtained the Chaos Dragon Spear. When he first obtained the Chaos Dragon Spear, he didn't know that it contained the souls of 9 Azure Dragons. Moreover, this bastard Chaos Dragon Spear's cultivation realm was extremely high. However, Lin Rei could sense that the Chaos Dragon Spear's level had probably dropped by several levels because of his cultivation. He thought about how he managed to raise his cultivation realm with great difficulty, but now my heart aches just thinking about it. Master, you don't have to be like this. The drop in the Chaos Dragon Spear's level is only temporary. When you return to your original body, the Chaos Dragon Spear's level will be raised again. Is that so? Hearing Azure Dragon's promise, Lin Rei felt a lot more relieved. After all, it would be troublesome to raise the Chaos Dragon Spear's level temporarily. Master. Just as Lin Rei was deep in thought, a timid voice like that of a child rang out in his mind. This voice is? The sudden voice stunned Lin Rei. He turned his head and looked in the direction of the voice. Suddenly, the blood flood dragon appeared in front of Lin Rei. Its pitiful eyes gave Lin Rei a headache. Master, there's no need to look. It's my voice. Lin Rei was stunned. Xuelingtian understood what Lin Rei was thinking and immediately said, Master, this isn't the only cave here. There's another cave below this one. However, the restriction formation in that cave is too strong. That's why I've never entered it before. However, I can sense the enormous amount of spiritual energy leaking out from that cave. I can sense that there are many heavenly treasures inside. Are you serious? Lin Rei was stunned by Xuelingtian's words. If what Xuelingtian said was true, he would like to check it out. Yes, I'm very serious. It's below this cave. However, I don't know how to set up a formation, so, after receiving confirmation, Lin Rei smiled. Xuelingtian wasn't familiar with formations, but he did. As long as the formations in this world didn't exceed the 3rd grade of the sacred grade, he could handle them. Moreover, he didn't believe that he would encounter a formation above the 3rd grade of the sacred grade in this desolate place. As he thought about it, a glint flashed across his eyes. Lead the way. Perhaps I can break it. Are you sure? Shui Lingtian looked at Lin Rei suspiciously. However, seeing Lin Rei's confident look, Shui Lingtian wondered if this master of his really knew how to set up a formation. Just lead the way. Leave the rest to me. Shui Lingtian didn't refute. Instead, he twisted his huge body and walked towards the other side of the cave. Up ahead, Shui Lingtian was heading towards a stone wall. There was no path to go. When Lin Rei released his divine sense earlier, he didn't see the existence of a door. Kacha. Ka, a crisp sound rang out. What followed next caused Linley to be stupefied. The stone wall had disappeared, and in its place was an entrance to the cave. F***ck, there really is a door? Looking at the black hole in front of him, Lin Rei couldn't remain calm. Although his cultivation wasn't the same as before, and his divine sense was even weaker, he couldn't figure out why his divine sense couldn't even detect a door. What's going on? Boom! Just as Linley was feeling vexed over his inability to find the entrance, suddenly, an astonishing surge of sword energy surged towards him. Looking up, he saw small golden swords rushing out of the black hole. Their killing intent soared to the sky as they rushed towards Shui Lingtian and Shui Lingtian. Formation. Sensing the source of the sword chi, Lin Rei raised his eyebrows in surprise. He could feel that these small swords came from the power of a formation. What surprised Lin Rei was that this formation had some skills. If not for the fact that he knew where he was, Lin Rei would have thought that he was in the immortal world or the celestial world. An Emperor-grade formation. Not bad. I didn't expect to encounter an Emperor-grade formation in this barren land. This is getting more and more interesting. I really don't know what will appear next. Thinking about the things that had happened since they came out, it was completely different from what it seemed on the surface, especially in this realm where spiritual energy was scarce. F***ck, Master, why don't you go? Didn't you say you would protect me? Didn't you say you would bring me to fly? Chapter 10:25. F***ck. Seeing Shui Lingtian's cowardly appearance, Lin Rei's face fell. But he still had to go. He had no choice. However, sensing the danger from the sword intent, Lin Rei had a headache. F***ck. Raising his head, a resolute expression flashed across his face. Then, he raised his hand and a mysterious seal appeared. A young eagle slowly appeared in the sky. Heavenly Spirit Stab. Heavenly Spirit Formation complete. Without any formation flags or anything to support it, being able to use the formation was already very good. Moreover, Lin Rei estimated that the Heavenly Spirit Formation should be able to resist the formation in front of him. Although it wasn't as strong as an Emperor-grade formation, at the very least, it was formed using the Devouring Heaven art. It was inevitable that the formation wouldn't contain devouring power. Therefore, Lin Rei felt that it should be able to resist the formation in front of him. Of course, the worst-case scenario was that it couldn't resist, but at least it wouldn't be too bad. The worst-case scenario was that although it couldn't cancel out the formation, it could at least resist it for a while, giving Shui Lingtian a chance to escape. Quick, leave this place. The formation appeared, and Linley said to Blood Spirit Heaven, "Open for me." A formation appeared in the sky, and a long spear similar to the Chaos Dragon's spear appeared out of thin air. The tip of the spear was aimed at the sword intent. Whoosh! After receiving Lin Rei's order, Shui Lingtian didn't even think about it and directly fled. But the moment he fled, the small golden sword rushed over. At this critical moment, Lin Rei's Heavenly Spirit Formation finally activated. Stab! Bang! Bang bang! In the next moment, the sound of weapons clashing resounded throughout the entire point. Blood Lingtian, who was watching from afar, was dumbfounded. He had not expected Linley to be so powerful. If Linley had used such a powerful formation from the very beginning, most likely none of this would have happened, and he would have died. Thinking about it, he couldn't help but feel terrified. However, what shocked him the most was that Lin Ray could be in the air without knowing about the formation. This was something that had never happened before in his knowledge. After a wave of collisions, Lin Ray realized that the array formation in the cave was quite powerful, and it seemed that the array formation's energy was endless. If that was the case, it would be difficult to enter. F***ck, what should I do? With my current strength and capital, I don't have anything I want. What should I use to break it? Generally speaking, there were two ways to break a formation. The first way was to use brute force to break it. The second way was to find the core of the formation. However, from the looks of it, it was impossible to find the core of the formation. As for the first way, it was also impossible. Although the Tsang-Long was powerful, Lin Ray felt that the Tsang-Long might not be able to break it. What should I do? He ignored the formation and left the range of the small golden sword in a flash. He retreated to the side and fell into deep thought. Shui Lingtian didn't say anything and just watched Lin Ray quietly. He was curious about what method his master would use to enter the cave. Frankly speaking, it was impossible for him not to care about the things in the cave. If it weren't for the existence of the array formation, perhaps he would have entered long ago. In the endless void. Swish, a stream of light streaked across the endless darkness. If one took a closer look, one would discover that 3 people were wrapped in the light, looking around as though they were searching for something. A young lady, have you found it? If you encounter a space-time storm, even if you have the strength of a sage, the end result is imaginable. At the side, when Ing heard Lin Tian's words, she frowned slightly and her expression turned ugly. She didn't know what a space-time storm was before, but after this period of time, she had a deep understanding of it. Not long after entering this space, the 3 of them encountered a space-time storm. But fortunately, the space-time storm didn't affect them at that time. Even so, the destruction brought about by the space-time storm still shocked them. Now that they thought about it, they still broke out in cold sweat and their bodies stiffened. They swore that they never wanted to encounter that scene again in their lives. Sigh, I didn't expect us to miscalculate. I thought we could find that place if we followed the bitter smile all the way to the east. But I didn't expect this space to be so dangerous. Just a space-time storm is so powerful. As soon as Ing said this, the 3 of them tacitly stopped talking and the place fell into silence. Roar. All of a sudden, a beast-like roar echoed in the pitch-black space, echoing in the ears of Lin Tian's group and lingering. What's going on? Ing came back to his senses and turned to look at Lin Tian. He looked at him curiously and asked if he had heard what Lin Tian had said. Please don't encounter anything from the space-time. Those are things that have been left behind from the prehistoric era or even further back. At that moment, Lin Tian prayed silently. As the person in charge of the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion, he still received some secret information, especially regarding the existence of things from the space-time. What? Lin Tian knew, but it didn't mean that Ing knew. Hearing Lin Tian say this, the 2 of them scratched their heads in confusion. Seeing the 2 of them like this, Lin Tian explained, in the space-time, the most terrifying thing is not the space-time storm, but the things that remain in the space-time. Just like that beast-like roar just now, there are many things in the space-time. But as long as we don't touch their range of cancellation, they won't attack. Although they were still a little confused, they understood that they were in an unknown place. They couldn't be careful at all times. Otherwise, they would be the ones to get hurt. What should we do? Lin Tian turned his head to look at Ing and asked. In this place, Ing had to be the most powerful one. That's right, sister. Tell me, how should we resolve this situation? Husband is still waiting for me in that place. I can't give up. Thinking of Lin Ray, Ing was suddenly filled with energy, and her lost fighting spirit was reignited. Husband. Without the two of them noticing, a tear rolled down her cheek, and her face was full of grievance. Thinking back to when her husband left, it was just a request, and thinking about all the things she had done during this time, she regretted it. Inside the immortal cave mansion in the Divine Valley, some of it was because he was thinking about how to break the array, and some of it hadn't been cracked open yet. Suddenly, a wave of pain surged in his heart. He hugged his head and squatted down, his face pale and gloomy. The normal temperature of his body instantly dropped to the freezing point. And in the depths of Lin Ray's spirit sea, there was a scene, a very real scene. Right at this moment, just as Linley was about to ask more questions, he suddenly felt a sense of dread from the depths of his soul. His voice came to an abrupt stop, as if he had been frozen in place. He stood there in a daze, his expression full of vigilance and fear. What's going on? Who on earth is so powerful, could it be? Suddenly, the fear in his heart, a figure appeared in Lin Ray's mind. He believed that this figure could make him feel fear, just like now. Of course, it was impossible for the Devourer to emit this level of fear, and the Devourer was right in front of him. If he wanted to do something, Lin Ray could still feel it. Little dragon, what's going on? Is it you? Lin Ray wanted to ask what was going on, but halfway through his words, he suddenly stopped. This time, he panicked, and he was sure that this matter was definitely related to the little dragon. Thinking of his own situation, and thinking of his two wives, Lin Ray's heart moved. He used the last bit of power he had left to open the system space, and released the Shadow Children. Quickly leave here with Bing. After returning to the Sect, take good care of the Sect, understand? Husband, you, his children, who were originally cultivating in the system space, suddenly saw the scene in front of them jump. When they saw Lin Ray, the two of them were excited, but these sudden words made the two of them stunned and dumbfounded. Why didn't you say so earlier? Listen to me. Feeling the vitality in his body quickly being buried, he knew that he did not have much time left. You don't have to worry about this matter. Take good care of the Sect and wait for my return. When the time comes, we will go to the Holy World together. However, during this period of time, you have to protect the Sect and cultivate well. When I return, I will check on you. After speaking, Linley turned to look at the Devourer. A smile appeared on his face as he said, I'm very happy to have met you. This battle was extremely valuable to me. Although I wasn't able to defeat you, the experience I gained is a true treasure trove. Don't worry, the Emperor of the Hongmeng realm will go. Moreover, the barrier there will be broken by the Emperor sooner or later, but your people will be free. You. Lin Ray suddenly acted like this, as if he was saying his last words. The Devourer was baffled. Other than Lin Ray himself, no one else was aware of the fear in Lin Ray's body. Okay, Shadow, the two of you leave quickly. Remember, ask Yun-Er to call back all the disciples outside. All those who disobey will be killed without mercy. After saying that, the last bit of vitality in his body was taken away. Lin Ray knew that his time was up. Until now, he still didn't understand why the little dragon would do this. Until he knew that he wouldn't die, as for what would happen next, he didn't know. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Lin Ray, who was originally standing in the air, suddenly disappeared without a trace, as if he had never appeared. Husband! Seeing Lin Ray disappear, the Shadow Children were anxious. How could they still care about the life and death of the people around them? They instantly adjusted their cultivation, and a huge pressure instantly crushed the entire Salt City. The gentlemen instantly covered the entire Salt City. They wanted to investigate Lin Ray's whereabouts. However, what made the two girls helpless was that there wasn't the slightest trace of Lin Ray in the entire Salt City. There wasn't even the slightest trace of his aura left. As for the Devourer, he was also very shocked when he saw Lin Ray disappear. He also thought about Lin Ray, but the outcome was the same as the Shadow Children. As for the remaining people in the Donglai Pavilion, the Devourer didn't care about them. He glanced at the Shadow Children and then left in a flash, disappearing from the eyes of the world. After the two women stayed in Salt City for a period of time, they didn't see Linley's figure. In the end, they followed Linley's instructions and returned to the Profound Sect. As for Linley, he followed the instructions given to him by Shadow and summoned all the Profound Sect cultivators back from all over the Divine Realm. In the cave dwelling of the Divine Valley, Lin Ray, who was immersed in his memories, had a gloomy expression on his face. He didn't expect that he would end up like this. Of course, this was only the final result. As for the final process, he did not know. He only knew that he was here when he woke up. Although he had recovered a bit of his cultivation base, it paled in comparison to his previous self. It was not an ordinary difference. What's going on? Why did I suddenly appear here? The system hasn't woken up yet. It seems that if I want to solve the mystery of myself, I can only wait for the system to wake up. Lin Ray didn't know that the reason he came back here was all because of the system. As for the little dragon, he had feelings for him, but he didn't stop it because he was here. Ruo Lin and Lin Ray knew that all of this was done by the two of them. They were afraid that Lin Ray would not be in the same situation at this moment. Even if he did not kill them, he would at least ignore this matter for a few days. The Lin family. Charge. We must break through the Lin family's defenses. Whoever breaks through, I will guarantee that person a lifetime of wealth and glory. Huang Fu-jing, looking at the impenetrable existence in front of her, was filled with helplessness. One day, for an entire day, the guards that she had recruited or the Huangfu family's own guards had been attacking the Lin family for an entire day. But now, the result was that not a single one of them could enter the Lin family's front door. Many of her own people had even been killed. Faced with such a situation, Huang Fu-jing was undoubtedly very distressed. After all, this was her strength. As for the other high-ranking members of the Huangfu family, it was rare that they did not make a move. Instead, they stood to the side and watched, as if this matter had nothing to do with them. Huang Fu-jing, this old man advises you to turn back and be saved. You are very likely to push your Huangfu family into a bottomless abyss. Furthermore, you are attacking the Lin family like this. Do you really think that the Lin family doesn't have a temper? An angry shout rang out from the Lin family. Huang Fu-jing was not familiar with this voice, but the high-ranking members of the Huangfu family behind Huang Fu-jing were very familiar with it. Who else could it be other than old Master Lin of the Lin family? And they agreed with Master Lin's point. One had to know that the Lin family used to be one of the top families. Although they had fallen, but a starving camel was still bigger than a horse. Regardless of how the family had fallen, they might still have some tricks up their sleeve. Otherwise, why hadn't the major powers in Yen country been able to take over the Lin family after 8 or 9 years? Why would the Lin family still have a place in the Yen country? Especially regarding the disappearance of old Master Lin. During this period of time, they seemed to have found the answer in their hearts. Therefore, no matter how much Huang Fu-jing attacked, they remained motionless. Chapter 10:26. Young Miss, I wouldn't dare. A young man dressed in Huang Fu clan's frightening attire hurried over to Huang Fu-jing's side. He lowered his voice so that only the two of them could hear him. It's you. Huang Fu-jing's expression tightened at the young man's appearance. Her heart thumped, and her originally calm heart was shattered. Why was he here? Wasn't he with Master? Why was he here? She recognized the young man. His name was Zhao Tianqi, and he was the elder she had sent to serve the Sword Sect. He was also her master. But why was he here? When she saw Zhao Tianqi, a bad premonition arose from her heart. Subconsciously, she knew that something bad had happened. Zhao Tianqi looked at his master and vigilantly scanned the crowd. Naturally, he moved closer to Huang Fujing's ear. Huang Fujing didn't avoid him. "Young miss, we just received news that the Sword Sect doesn't allow Senior to accept you as a disciple. Furthermore, what?" Shock and bewilderment. This news was undoubtedly fatal to her now. One had to know that what she had done previously had crossed the bottom line of many people. Previously, if she hadn't received the news from Zhao Tianqi, perhaps she wouldn't have been afraid of anything. After all, she was previously a disciple of the Sword Gate. But now, she wasn't. If her uncles or the Lin family found out about this, the consequences would be unimaginable. However, Huang Fujing couldn't understand why the Sword Sect would appear to stop her. "Furthermore, what?" Huang Fujing asked. Zhao Tianqi was startled when he sensed the anxiety in his young miss's voice. He hurriedly said, "Furthermore, your master seems to have agreed. He even rushed back to the sect today." "What? He left?" "Yes." Zhao Tianqi nodded. His expression was very serious, and he didn't seem to be lying. "According to the disciples of the Sword Sect, it seems that something has happened to the Sword Sect. Furthermore, the matter seems to be related to you. So your plan to become a disciple of the Sword Sect is completely ruined." Huang Fujing fell into silence. At this moment, Huang Fujing's mind was in a mess. She couldn't figure out how she had offended the Sword Sect to the point that the Sword Sect would take action to stop her from being accepted as a disciple. Of course, more importantly, how should she end this situation? From what Zhao Tianqi had told her, she understood that her chances of entering the Sword Sect had been completely dashed. She no longer had a chance. She raised her head and looked at the Lin family in front of her. She understood even more clearly that it was impossible to break through the Lin family's impregnable defense in a short period of time. When she thought of the series of events that would follow one after another, the pressure made her a little breathless. What should we do? What should I do next? Without the support of the Sword Sect and Grandpa, what should I do? Problems popped up one after another. She realized that she didn't have a single solution to these problems. As the saying goes, there's a wolf in front and a tiger behind. Right now, the Lin family was fiercely watching her, and her relatives were waiting behind her. She had nowhere to go. Miss? Beside her, Zhao Tianqi saw that Huang Fujing's expression was absent-minded. He was very worried. As Huang Fujing's loyal follower, he didn't want anything to happen to Huang Fujing. What's wrong? Huang Fujing was roused from her stupor. "Are we leaving now? Or?" Zhao Tianqi understood his little mistress's current situation very well. She had offended the Lin family, and the entire Huangfu family was about to be embroiled in a battle for the position of family head. He also knew his little mistress's current strength. After the battle with the Lin family, her power had been greatly damaged. Originally, she had thought that after entering the Sword Sect, these losses wouldn't be much, but now, she looked at Zhao Tianqi, hesitation in her eyes. She wasn't willing to let him leave now. She really wasn't willing. As a person who wanted to be strong, how could she bear to give up halfway? However, when she thought of her current situation, a bitter smile appeared on her face. "Sigh, what else can I do? In this situation, the only thing I can do is leave. I'll slowly gather my strength, and come back to fight for what he thinks is mine." This was probably the only thing she could do now. At the same time, it was also the safest option. If she left now, even her uncles wouldn't be able to stop her. This time, she was the only one who brought her own power to the Lin family. As for her uncles, they were just tagging along. As for her subordinates? She didn't bring a single one. Then, let's hurry up and leave before the Lin clan changes their mind. Otherwise, Zhao Tianqi inexplicably heaved a sigh of relief when he got the chance to leave. After all, anyone with a discerning eye could see the current situation clearly. Okay, she nodded in response. Her eyes scanned the surroundings. Her family members were eyeing her covetously. At this moment, she wanted these people to remember that when the queen returned, she would make these people pay back thousands of times over. After receiving his little mistress's final confirmation, Zhao Tianqi took action. As Huang Fujing's right-hand man, he quickly organized Huang Fujing's forces. Jing, what are you? When the surrounding Huang Fu family members saw Huang Fujing's actions, they originally thought that she was planning to attack the Lin family again. But now they sensed that something was wrong. She was going to King run away. A few of the smarter ones had already realized this. Sigh, I'm sorry, uncles. Due to some matters, I have to leave now to deal with them. Huang Fujing knew very well what her uncles were thinking. She sneered in her heart, but on the surface she was very calm. Niece believes that even without me, I believe that all the uncles here will continue to fight with the Lin family to save grandfather. After all the aristocratic families are watching now. Our Huangfu family has made such a big move this time. If we don't get the old man out, I'm afraid the Huangfu family will become the laughingstock of the entire Yin country. At that time, when that happens, our Huangfu family will be in an awkward position. Not to mention the imperial family, I'm afraid it will have a great impact on our Huangfu family's business. Everyone, after Huang Fujing spoke, everyone was stunned. Then, a murderous intent flashed. Without a doubt, Huang Fujing's words had pushed the Huangfu family into the eye of the storm. She had pushed them into the eye of the storm as well. If they retreated now, it would probably end up like what Huang Fujing had said. At this moment, everyone in the Huangfu family hated Huang Fujing to the core. They couldn't wait to get rid of her. But could they? They couldn't. Under the watchful eyes of so many people, if they made a move now, their reputation in the Yen country would be ruined. This was something they didn't want to see. Seeing everyone's silence, Huang Fujing knew that she had achieved what she wanted. She didn't want to stay any longer. She bowed to everyone and led her forces out of the battle. Only the Huangfu family members were left in front of the Lin family's door. Huang Fujing left quickly, without any hesitation. The situation fell into an awkward state. Now, the Huangfu family members who were in front of the Lin family's door all had their own ulterior motives. Everyone began to plan in their hearts. No one wanted to make a move at this time. After all, it would damage their family's forces. In the end, if they really wanted to fight for the position of the family head, they would be at a disadvantage. What should we do? Bastard, how could she do this? This little girl still doesn't forget to stab us in the back. Bastard, this little girl actually, towards Huang Fujing, towards this niece of theirs, they couldn't wait to kill her. In the cave of the Divine Valley, Lin Rei, who had been silent for a long time, finally decided to leave. Let's leave. After all, the things here won't be out of tune. It seems that I have to quickly improve my cultivation during this period. Otherwise, I don't know if the things here will be intact when I come back. Master, where are we going now? In the distance, seeing that Lin Rei didn't understand, Shui Lingtian carefully asked. Leave. Leave. Lin Rei's words stunned Shui Lingtian. He clearly hadn't expected Lin Rei to make such a choice. In Shui Lingtian's mind, he had always believed that Lin Rei would do everything in his power to enter and obtain the things inside. But now it was a different situation. Yes, leave. Looking at Shui Lingtian, a smile appeared on Shui Lingtian's face. This place isn't something we can touch for now. Let's leave first. Once our cultivation recovers a bit, we'll come back again. I trust that next time, we won't return empty-handed like today. Lin Rei had made up his mind. Shui Lingtian knew that nothing he said could change Lin Rei's mind. But what Xue Lingtian didn't know was that besides not having the strength to do so, Lin Rei also had a trace of worry in his heart. It was none other than Lu Changtian. It had been a while since he had entered, and he didn't know if his disciple had been obedient or not. "Let's go." Stepping forward, he waved his hand at Xue Lingtian and followed the original path out of the cave. Just like when they had entered, there were many demon beasts along the way. But because of the bloodworm, those demon beasts didn't dare act rashly. Lin Rei's figure finally appeared at the entrance of the cave. A ray of sunlight shone down on Lin Rei's face. Feeling the warmth of the sunlight, Lin Rei truly wished that he could stay in this moment forever. Unfortunately, he knew that was just wishful thinking. "I'm here." He could sense that the blood spirit sky had followed him here. The blood spirit sky was Linley's greatest pride. Although he hadn't been able to retrieve the items from the second cave estate, Linley was already satisfied that he had been able to tame the bloodworm. As the saying went, contentment brought happiness. A person who didn't understand contentment would end up with nothing. "Where are we going now?" Xue Lingtian asked. "Accompany me to find someone. I originally wanted to let that person gain some experience, but now I just hope he doesn't encounter any danger." Truth. Lin Rei still didn't dare to compliment Lu Changtian's cultivation. After all, it was just a tiny bit. The bloodworm could probably kill Lu Changtian with a sweep of the floor. "How is it very weak?" Lin Rei was speechless. Lin Rei was helpless against Xue Lingtian's straightforwardness. However, Xue Lingtian wasn't wrong. Lu Changtian was indeed very weak. Of course, it depended on who he was with. If compared to the people in this realm, Lu Changtian might not be the strongest, but he was at least below average. But in front of Lin Rei or Xue Lingtian, Lu Changtian was just a piece of trash. Oh no, not a piece of trash, but worse than a piece of trash. It wasn't belittling, but Lu Changtian's cultivation was just too weak in the cultivation world. Looking at Xue Lingtian, Lin Rei nodded helplessly. "It's okay. After all, in this world, it can barely be considered below average." "Average? Below average?" He looked at Lin Rei with a strange gaze. Clearly, he was surprised that Lin Rei could travel with such a person. Don't look down on him. That little thing's bloodline is very powerful. Otherwise, I wouldn't have accepted him as my disciple." "You? He's your disciple?" Xue Lingtian was shocked. He knew how powerful Lin Rei's cultivation was. To be able to become Lin Rei's disciple, even if he didn't have monstrous authority, he could still do whatever he wanted in the divine world. Enough. Let's go quickly. The situation might change if we delay." After saying that, Lin Rei used the butterfly step. His figure danced in the air like a butterfly and flew away. "Bastard, wait until I cultivate my human nature. I'll definitely make you give me that movement technique." Seeing Lin Rei disappear in the air, Xue Lingtian's eyes were filled with fervor. Who wouldn't like good things? Not to mention, it was an ancient demonic beast that had gained intelligence. In the air, looking at the surrounding terrain and recalling the route he took earlier, his cultivation rose again and his speed increased by another level. Whoosh! A ray of light slashed through the skies. On the ground, the blood spirit sky's enormous body was twisting as it chased after the flying Linley. Not too far away from where Linley was flying, a series of explosions could be heard. Bang! 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 "Bastard! You dare to sneak attack me when I'm cultivating? Are you courting death?" Looking at the demonic tiger in front of him, Lu Changtian's face was filled with seriousness. Even with his current cultivation, he couldn't see through the demonic tiger's cultivation. It was obvious that the other party's strength wasn't something he could fight against. But now, other than fighting, there was no other way. Escape? Lu Changtian had thought of this before. But when this thought appeared, Lu Changtian decisively gave up. A demonic beast's speed was much faster than a human's. Moreover, its cultivation was stronger than his. How could he escape? As for fighting, although this decision was stupid, he had no other choice. Only by fighting could he have a glimmer of hope. At the same time, looking at the demonic tiger in front of him, he silently prayed that his master, Lin Rei, could arrive as soon as possible. Master, you better hurry up and come. Otherwise, your precious disciple, I, will die. His eyes scanned the surroundings and finally locked onto the demonic tiger. He released his cultivation and his body's battle intent soared to the sky. This is. In the distance, feeling the huge battle intent, Lin Rei was stunned. He thought to himself, oh no, could it be that the little guy is in danger? Chapter 10:27. Sensing the energy fluctuation ahead, Lin Rei's heart tightened. That direction was where Lu Changtian was. Hurry up! Something might have happened to my little disciple. Xue Lingtian reminded Xue Lingtian. Then, he increased his speed and shot out like a sharp arrow. His speed was so fast that it made people click their tongues. F***ck. Xue Lingtian was shocked when he saw Lin Rei increase his speed again. He did not expect that the speed just now was not Lin Rei's fastest speed. However, when he heard that something had happened to the little guy he was waiting for, Xue Lingtian did not think too much about it. He increased his speed and chased after Lin Rei. In the distance, Lu Changtian was standing. At this moment, Lu Changtian had transformed into a war god. He held a 3-foot cold light in his hand and looked at the tiger demon in front of him with murderous intent. Kill! As soon as he said the word, Lu Changtian's figure moved. He was very fast. In a short moment, he had arrived in front of the tiger demon with a long sword in his hand. He raised his hand and stabbed at the tiger demon's vital point. His actions were clean and efficient. There was no hesitation. It looked like he wanted to kill the tiger demon with a single strike. Bang! The sound of weapons colliding rang out. Lu Changtian's long sword pierced the tiger demon's throat. However, what shocked Lu Changtian was that the long sword did not pierce the tiger demon's throat. He did not even hurt the tiger demon. Lu Changtian even suspected that he was just scratching the tiger demon's itch. How is this possible? Sensing the tiger demon's strength, it was too late to retreat now because the tiger demon was enraged. Roar! His murderous intent rose. He stared at Lu Changtian as if he could not wait to tear him apart. Roar! Roar! The tiger demon was enraged. He felt that his dignity was being challenged. He could not tolerate it. Roar! It lowered its head and opened its bloody mouth to bite Lu Changtian. However, Lu Changtian was already prepared for this. Seeing that the demonic tiger's bloody mouth was about to reach him, Lu Changtian decisively gave up on continuing his bombardment and rushed towards a blind spot of the demonic tiger. Bang! Another sound of weapons clashing could be heard. Lu Changtian did not give up attacking after leaving. He then used the fighting style that he had been practicing all his life, slashing and stabbing wildly at Lu Changtian. Dazzling light sword. Cotton water sword technique. Roaring flame palm. Chasm fist. One set of combat techniques after another was used, and the series of actions could be said to be very cool. The scene entered a white-hot state. However, others might not know, but Lu Changtian himself was very clear. He had already used all his means. His body was not strong, and he had only learned so much. He had used all his strength, and even exceeded his strength, but he was still unable to hurt Lu Changtian. This made him feel very busy. Right now, the only thing she could hope for was that her master, Lin Rei, would arrive as soon as possible. Otherwise, the only thing left for her would be that cold corpse. Sigh. She let out a long sigh. Her small figure quickly twisted her body to avoid the demonic tiger's attack. Otherwise, if the demonic tiger's palm was too heavy, she would probably lose half her life. Roar. Suddenly, just as the demonic tiger was chasing Lu Changtian, the demonic tiger that was originally filled with anger and murderous intent suddenly stopped. It looked around and the murderous intent in its eyes disappeared. Instead, it was replaced with fear. If one looked carefully, they would be able to see that the demonic tiger's huge body was trembling slightly. In the dark, seeing the demonic tiger's action, everyone turned to look at the blood spirit sky and understood what was going on. Lin Rei had already hidden in the dark and did not go out. He only wanted to see how his disciple could deal with the demonic tiger. But now, it seemed that Lu Changtian did not disappoint him. Although he was still unable to kill the demonic tiger in the end, at least he dared to fight a demonic tiger that was higher than him. It was already not easy. If it were someone else with a weak will, they would either stay where they were and wait to be eaten, or they would get up and run away. But in the end, they would still be eaten. Lin Rei was very satisfied with Lu Changtian. He stood up and walked out. Lu Changtian, who was fighting with the demonic tiger, suddenly saw a person appear in his peripheral vision. He turned his head to look. What entered his eyes was his master, who was looking at him with a sinister and cunning smile. However, when he saw Lin Rei's arrival, Lu Changtian's originally panicked heart immediately calmed down. The biggest taboo in a battle is to be distracted. It's easy for the demonic tiger to take advantage of you like this. Looking at Lu Changtian, who was looking at him, Lin Rei began to teach him. He looked like a master. Bang! As soon as Lin Rei finished speaking, Lu Changtian's figure was sent flying. The appearance of this scene caused Linli's heart to freeze. An endless amount of killing intent surged out from his heart. Bastard, you dare to touch my disciple in front of me? Do you think I'm dead? After saying that, Lin Rei moved. His figure flashed quickly as he used the stellar finger. With his foundation establishment stage cultivation, he arrived in front of the demonic tiger at an unimaginable speed. He raised his hand and rushed towards the demonic tiger's throat. Open for me! Even though the stellar finger was at the bottom of the cultivation world, but in this era where spiritual energy was scarce, the cultivation world's low-level techniques were simply god-level techniques. Puchi, the sound of flesh being pierced sounded. At this moment, Lin Rei's hand was already in the demonic tiger's throat. Little guy, you shouldn't have slapped me. Otherwise, I might have let you go, but you won't have the chance. Hararg! An explosive roar came out from Linli's mouth, and then he formed a sword finger with his right hand, causing an astonishing burst of sword energy to appear. A woo, as if it felt something that could threaten its life, the demonic tiger, which was originally filled with killing intent, started to beg for mercy. Its low voice was really funny. If it was a kind-hearted person, seeing the demonic tiger beg for mercy, they might have let it go. Unfortunately, it met Lin Rei. In Lin Rei's view, no matter who you are, whether you are a man or a woman, as long as you touch his reverse scale, you must die. Lin Rei's rule was that those who touch his reverse scale will be killed without mercy. Ignoring the demonic tiger's begging, he waved the sword Qi in his hand and slashed towards the demonic tiger's waist. Puchi, the bloody scene appeared, and Lu Changtian was scared stiff. He even forgot about the pain in his body as he stared blankly at the scene before him. As for the blood spirit sky, it was the same as Lu Changtian. The two of them had seen Lin Rei's true killing, so they didn't feel anything. The demonic tiger's body was cut in two by Lin Rei's hand. Its life was instantly extinguished without any room for recovery. Clap, clap. Withdrawing his hand from the demonic tiger's throat, he clapped his hands and used the imperial water art. Instantly, a stream of clear water appeared out of nowhere, washing away the blood stains on Linli's hands. After doing this, he turned to Lu Changtian and the blood spirit sky. Seeing their current appearances, Lin Rei helplessly shook his head. Little guy, go clean up this demonic tiger. We'll eat it in a bit. Lu Changtian. Lu Changtian didn't dare to disobey Lin Rei. He nodded. Okay. Lu Changtian turned and went to clean up. But before he left, Lu Changtian didn't forget to sneak a glance at Lin Rei. His expression was full of desire. Ah, little guy. Lin Rei sensed Lu Changtian's gaze. As someone who had lived for thousands of years, he could tell what Lu Changtian wanted with a single glance. It seemed that Lu Zhangtian had taken a fancy to his astral finger. Regarding this, Linli only smiled. Regarding a low-level technique like the astral finger, Linli would teach it to him, but not now. After all, with his current strength, he was not strong enough to use this technique. You! The blood spirit Sky's voice rang out, but he couldn't finish his words. What's wrong with me? He looked at the blood spirit Sky doubtfully. Where are you going next? Here? Or? That's the problem. Lin Rei sank into contemplation. He had thought about this problem before. After all, he was currently guarding a treasure trove. Although he couldn't enter, as long as his cultivation reached a certain level, it would only be a matter of time before he entered. Furthermore, he also wanted to take advantage of this time to properly raise his cultivation base. After all, only those with a high cultivation base would have ordinary abilities. Just like this time, if he hadn't coincidentally encountered the primal Chaos Dragon Spear, he probably would have already become food in the blood spirit Sky's stomach. Let's do it here. After pondering for a long time, Lin Rei said, My cultivation base hasn't recovered yet, and there's an immortal cave here that hasn't been opened yet. The spiritual chi here is pretty good, so why don't we cultivate here for a while? Once our cultivation base has increased a bit, we can explore that immortal cave before leaving. Alright, I'll listen to you. The blood spirit Sky nodded. He didn't really care. After all, he had lived here for who knew how many years. The two of them fell silent. As for Lin Rei, he found a clean place and sat down cross-legged to cultivate. The spiritual energy in an area of 10,000 kilometers, because of Linli's training, began to grow restless. Whoosh whoosh, a mighty gust of wind blew past. The divine valley, which had been filled with spiritual energy, suddenly disappeared as soon as Linli began to train. It was as though it had never been there in the first place. The appearance of this phenomenon startled the blood spirit Sky. He turned to look at Lin Rei with a shocked expression. Although Lin Rei had already given him a lot of surprises before, blood spirit Sky found that Lin Rei was capable of shocking things in an endless stream. He simply couldn't view Lin Rei as a normal person. I really don't know what this guy was like when he was at his peak. Now that he's only at the foundation establishment stage, he can actually absorb the surrounding spiritual chi in an instant. If I could have such a method, then imagination was beautiful, but reality was cruel. This kind of thinking was just imagination. If he really wanted to realize it, he would need Lin Rei to teach him. The blood spirit Sky returned to his original calm and collected the shock in his heart. He lay down on the ground again and ignored everything. As for Linli, all of the spiritual energy within 10,000 kilometers had instantly disappeared. This made him extremely unhappy. Looks like I still don't know about spirit gathering formations. Thinking about spirit gathering formations, Lin Rei couldn't help but sigh. It was quite exciting. He wouldn't even look at such formations. After all, such low-level formations were useless to him. But to the current him, not only were they not useless, they were actually very useful. Thinking about the past, a bitter smile appeared on his face. Sigh. Sighing, he waved his hand and a spirit-gathering formation appeared around him. Whoosh, whoosh, the instant the spirit-gathering formation appeared, the surrounding spiritual chi was instantly replenished. Not bad, but this power. Sensing that the spirit-gathering formation's power wasn't as great as he had imagined. As he thought about this, Another 10 or so soul-gathering formations appeared around his body. Although it still wasn't at the level Linley wanted, compared to before, it was already very good. Forget it, I'll just put up with it. After all, this isn't the divine realm, so I can't ask for too much. Thinking about this realm, Lin Ray finally compromised. However, he really couldn't figure out why he would appear here. Even if he was sent to a realm like the divine realm and the immortal realm, it would be fine as long as spiritual chi was abundant. But now, because of the lack of spiritual chi, even cultivation was a problem. Blood Spirit Sky had been watching everything Lin Ray did. He began to believe what Lin Ray said before. Although he had seen Lin Ray's strength before, only now did he truly believe it. Maybe, perhaps following him will really bring me and my Blood Flood Dragon clan to greatness. In the ceremony hall of the Lin family, Master Lin looked at the injured disciples below with a flash of guilt in his eyes. These disciples were the mainstays of the Lin family, but he didn't expect that in just 2 days, they would be ambushed by so many mysterious forces. Regarding this matter, Master Lin was seething with anger. He ordered his family's shadow guard to take action. If they were alive, he wanted to see them. If they were dead, he wanted to see their corpses. No matter what, they had to find the culprits. Unfortunately, Master Lin was disappointed in the end because the shadow guard that was sent out was injured and thrown at the Lin family's gate, just like the Lin family's disciples. What was this? Provoking the Lin family? Or was it purely to disgust the Lin family and disgust him, an old man who had 1 foot in the grave? He thought a lot about the secret forces, the royal family, the Huangfu family, or some retired aristocratic families in the Yen country. However, he couldn't think of anyone who could injure the Shadow Guard except for a few in the entire Yen country. He couldn't think of anyone who could do anything to the Shadow Guard. One had to know that the Shadow Guard was very united in groups, especially when the Shadow Guard had a set of joint attacks. Even if he wanted to kill or injure a Shadow Guard, it would be very difficult, not to mention that the Shadow Guard was injured. Judging from the wound, it was obvious that the other party didn't kill him. He believed that, if the other party had killed him, perhaps his Shadow Guard wouldn't have been able to come back. Sigh, if only Ray was here. Maybe he would have a way to deal with those mysterious people. Thinking of his grandson, the old man's face was full of pride. Chapter 1028. Regarding the mysterious assassination, Master Lin eventually decided to deal with it by sticking to the status quo and suppressed this matter. As the saying goes, one is in the light while the enemy is in the dark. Unless they were completely dealt with, there would always be trouble. Regarding this, the only thing Master Lin could do was to order the entire Lin family to seal the mansion and not allow the disciples to go out. As for food and other things, they were all bought by those with strong cultivation. In the Divine Valley, it had been a year since Lin Ray decided to cultivate in the Divine Valley. In the past year, Lin Ray could be said to have worked very hard. However, no matter how hard he worked, it was useless. After all, there was only a small amount of spiritual energy every day. After cultivating, he still had to wait for the spiritual energy to condense again. Fortunately, Lin Ray knew how to concoct pills. There were also some elixirs in the Divine Valley that could be used to concoct low-grade pills. Lin Ray was very satisfied with this. A year's worth of time, combined with his usual training and the consumption of pills, finally allowed Linley to break through to the mid-stage of Inidia. He was only a step away from the late stage. It was a pity that just one step was enough to trap Lin Ray for more than 10 days. Conservatively speaking, if he wanted to break through, he would need a huge amount of spiritual energy to support it. If he were to cultivate like before, it would probably take 1 or 2 months. Moreover, he would also need to use pills. Otherwise, wanting to break through in 1 or 2 months was simply a fool's dream. In the past year, Not only did Lin Rei break through, Lin Rei also didn't forget to supervise and guide Lu Changtian during his free time. Of course, this was only during his free time. After all, Lu Changtian's cultivation was a little slow. Fortunately, with the help of Lin Rei's pills, he improved a lot in a year. Lin Rei had too many pills that could raise one's cultivation level. However, although these pills sounded good, they had a lot of effects on one's foundation. Lin Rei wouldn't allow this to happen to his disciple. As his disciple, Lin Rei's first rule was that you could eat vegetables, but you couldn't carelessly use pills to increase your strength. Rather than that, it was better not to eat and just obediently eat half a bag. Bang! A rumbling sound could be heard from afar. Linley, seated in the lotus position, didn't frown at all. He opened his eyes and raised his head to look. When he saw the source of the sound, his frown slowly relaxed. What is this kid doing? Doesn't he know that I'm cultivating? Lin Rei was a little puzzled. In the past, Lu Changtian wouldn't be like this. Thinking about it, he stood up with doubt and disappeared. In the distance, Lu Changtian was lying on the ground, his clothes in tatters. Blood Spirit Sky was coiled on the ground, looking at Lu Changtian with a frivolous expression, as if to say, "Come here. What, do you want to continue now? You are not my match at all. Save it. When you become a cultivator like Master, you can come find me again. With your current cultivation method, I'm afraid you'll need a very long time to defeat me." Lu Changtian's voice echoed in Lu Changtian's mind. Lu Changtian wasn't surprised at all. After all, he was used to it. However, when Lu Changtian heard Xue Ling Tian speak for the first time, he was shocked like a country bumpkin for several days. Hearing Xue Ling Tian's words, Lu Changtian climbed up from the ruins with difficulty. He looked at Xue Ling Tian and said, "Don't forget how old I am now and how old you are. Moreover, I haven't reached the minimum requirement to practice the cultivation method given by my master. Therefore, when I can practice the cultivation method given by my master and reach a certain level of cultivation, the first thing I will do is to ruthlessly torture you. I will repay you for all the care you have given me during this period of time." Lu Changtian emphasized the word taking care. Xue Ling Tian understood the meaning of the word taking care. He pursed his lips and smiled with disdain. He believed that Lin Rei could torture him because Lin Rei was too strong. As for Lu Changtian, regarding Lu Changtian's words, the Blood Spirit Sky only listened and didn't take it seriously. "You two are really in a good mood." While the two were silent, Lin Rei, who had been standing in the dark, walked out. He didn't forget to talk to the two as he walked. Master. Lin Rei's appearance stunned Xue Ling Tian. Obviously, he didn't know about Lin Rei's arrival. Master. Seeing Lin Rei's arrival, Lu Changtian's expression changed. His head drooped quickly. Thinking about how he was tortured by Lin Rei in the past year, he shuddered. Looking at the two of them, Linley nodded, then stood between them. "I didn't expect that the two of you would actually spar." However, he turned his head and looked at Lu Changtian. "Are you injured?" No. Lin Rei's words stunned Lu Changtian. He didn't expect Lin Rei to ask such a question. This was obviously different from the usual Lin Rei. If he had seen this before, he wouldn't have appeared. Instead, he would have waited in the dark until Lu Changtian was tortured beyond recognition. But now, that's good. Hearing that Lu Changtian was fine, Lin Rei let out a long breath. "Since you're fine, pack up and leave the Divine Valley." What? Two shocked voices sounded at the same time. Obviously, it was Lu Changtian and Xue Ling Tian. Looking at the two, Lin Rei understood. "I'm letting you leave, because of a promise from a year ago." "A year ago?" Hearing this, Lu Changtian recalled. That's right, a year ago, his master had personally said that he would only give the sword sect 1 year. Within 1 year, he would be sent to the Sword Sect to challenge and exterminate them. Now 1 year had passed. With his current strength, Lu Changtian was confident that not a single person in the Sword Sect could escape from him. However, he had some friendship with the Sword Sect. So, Lu Changtian had always thought that this was a joke and didn't take it seriously. But now, it seemed that he had misunderstood Lin Rei's intentions. Seeing that Lu Changtian was deep in thought, Lin Rei spoke. I think you've realized that I wasn't joking when I told you to exterminate the Sword Sect 1 year ago. Of course, this is just one of your many missions. What else is there? Master, please tell me. Lu Changtian couldn't disobey Lin Rei's orders. This time, after you return, the first thing you need to do is to exterminate the Sword Sect. As for the second thing, after pondering for a moment, he continued, it's very simple. After you return and deal with the Sword Sect, go to the Lin family and see how the Lin family is doing. If the Lin family encounters any trouble, just deal with it. However, you must remember that if you don't remove the roots, they will grow again. Just like the Lin family, if you encounter any other families that are trying to harm the Lin family, you don't need to know who did it. Just exterminate them and spread the word that if anyone dares to harm the Lin family, they will end up like the Sword Sect. Lin family? Are you really the Lin family member who was in a coma for 8 years? Although he had followed Lin Rei for more than a year, Lu Changtian didn't dare to ask too many questions. Now that he heard this, he was confused. Heh, you can take it as that. Of course, this is only a temporary body that I'm living in. One day, I will return to my original body. Lin Rei didn't intend to hide anything from Lu Changtian. What? Lu Changtian was shocked. What did he mean by temporary body? What did he mean by returning to his original body in the future? This method shocked him. Haha, that's enough. This isn't what you think now. When you reach a certain height, you will be like me. Seeing Lu Changtian's reaction, Lin Rei interrupted him. Remember my words. After you leave, go to the Sword Sect. I'll leave the Sword Sect to you. As for the specifics, you can do as you see fit. I trust that you won't make your master busy. As for the Lin family, tell my mother that I'm fine and don't let her worry. If they ask when I will return home, tell them that it will be 3 years. Only a little over a year has passed. There are still 2 years left. I will definitely return home in 2 years. Then Lin Rei told Lu Changtian some things to pay attention to. Apart from the Sword Sect, the rest were related to the Lin family. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, an hour had passed. Lin Rei finally stopped talking. Plop! Suddenly, Lu Changtian knelt on the ground and kowtowed twice. He looked at Lin Rei with gratitude. Master, thank you for accepting me as your disciple. If it wasn't for you, I would still be a frog at the bottom of a well. If it wasn't for you, how would I know that the world of cultivation is so wonderful? If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have the strength I have today. Haha, get up. This is just the beginning. With a wave of his hand, a majestic spirit energy rushed out. A hand formed from spirit energy lifted Lu Changtian up from the ground. Okay, hurry up and go. Waving his hand at Lu Changtian, he turned to Xue Lingtian. Go and send Changtian out of the Divine Valley. Oh, why me? Xue Lingtian looked at Lin Rei and asked. Haha, because I'm strong. You don't want to accept it? A look of if you don't accept it, come and fight me. Bastard. Seeing Lin Rei like this, Xue Lingtian felt stifled. He cursed inwardly but immediately agreed. Okay, I'm most willing to do this. PFFF, seeing Xue Lingtian like this, Lu Changtian couldn't help but laugh. It wasn't that Lu Changtian was easily amused. It was just that this was the first time he saw Xue Lingtian being humiliated like this. It was hard for him not to be unhappy. Are you leaving or not? Whether it was because Lin Rei was beside him or something else, Xue Lingtian roared at Lu Changtian's laughter. Then, he twisted his huge body and rushed towards the exit of the Divine Valley. Haha, okay, hurry up and follow him. Sensing the look on Bloodlingtian's face, Linley chuckled, not minding. He spoke to the nearby Lu Chongtian. I understand, master. Lu Chongtian didn't waste any more words. Seeing that Schwellingtian's figure was about to disappear from sight, Lu Chongtian used all his cultivation and used the butterfly steps that Lin Rei taught him to chase after him. Let's go. I'm afraid this place will be quiet soon. Feeling the silence, Lin Rei felt that something was missing. Usually, when Schwellingtian and Lu Chongtian fought each other, it was very lively and he didn't feel anything. But now that the two of them had suddenly left, the quiet surroundings made Lin Rei feel a little uncomfortable. The Sword Sect. The Sword Sect was very lively at this moment. Of course, it wasn't because of some kind of happy event, but because the 1 year's time was up. The thing they were most worried about had come. In the Sword Sect's ceremonial hall, the sect master and the elders gathered together. The atmosphere was very solemn. Among them, the most worried person was Wang Yun, who had seen Lin Rei fight back then. He didn't have the slightest bit of resistance against Lin Rei's strength. He knew very well how powerful Lin Rei was. Not to mention that there was no one present who could fight against Lin Rei. It was wishful thinking to be able to survive a single attack from Lin Rei. Junior brother Wang Yun, do you think that powerhouse will really come? Jian Lingzi broke the silence. That's right, junior brother Wang Yun. Because of the news you brought back, we were on tenterhooks for an entire year. Are you sure that the powerhouse will really come back? Perhaps we can ask this. Are you sure that the powerhouse is very powerful, so powerful that we aren't his match? At that moment, doubtful voices sounded one after another. Looking at everyone's reaction, Wang Yun was taken aback. He understood what they were thinking. Sigh. He let out a long sigh. Senior brothers, it would be great if this matter was as you said. If you were there back then, you would understand how I felt back then. Even now, I feel that I'm really lucky to be able to survive back then. What he said was true. Now that Wang Yun thought about the situation back then, he felt that it was fortunate to be able to survive back then. Fortunately, he didn't act rashly back then. Otherwise, not to mention standing here safe and sound, he wouldn't have been able to bring back the news that Lin Rei was going to the Sword Sect. This, everyone frowned, and their expressions were solemn. If what Wang Yun said was true, then, this matter would be difficult to handle. After all, who in the entire Sword Sect could be a match for him? Senior brother sect leader, what should we do now? That's right. Senior brother, if what junior brother Wang Yun said is true, how should our Sword Sect face such a powerhouse? Senior brother sect leader, how do you think we should handle this matter? After all, this concerns the destruction of the Sword Sect. This is a big matter. Do you think we need to ask the patriarchs for instructions? As soon as this was said, everyone's gaze landed on the last person who spoke, including Ling Jianzi. Upon hearing this, Ling Jianzi, who was the sect leader, fell silent. The Sword Sect had 3 patriarchs. As they had been in seclusion for a long time, very few people knew of their existence. However, as the higher-ups of the Sword Sect, they knew very well how powerful the 3 patriarchs of the Sword Sect were. However, what gave Ling Jianzi a headache was that the 3 patriarchs had said before they went into seclusion that no matter what happened, they were not to disturb them. If they disturbed them because of this matter that they didn't know was true, the consequences would be obvious. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.